Laura, you've never introed before, do it.
I have.
You have not.
Hi guys, welcome to the Nerdly Kingdom, where we talk about nerds and we talk about kingdoms, both equally.
You said that
this
last
is your
time
podcast
you
host, Lori, and I'm here with two idiots.
We've never
Brad
once talked
and
about
William.
a kingdom.
Welcome to Nerdly Kingdom. I don't know what to say after that part because I don't watch movies.
Hooray!
Yay!
We're all here.
Enough, though.
What?
So I might not have been loud enough.
I don't know. You are pretty far away, but that's okay. I'm here. William's here. Lori's here. Josh is over there.
No, I'm not.
Josh isn't over there. And we're gonna
Yes,
talk
I am
about.
not.
We're gonna talk about stuff. Probably Antman and Fahrenheit 451 and that other movie. The Purge. I like The Purge.
Ant and Height 450 Purge.
Jesus.
Our poor
I can
Purge
contribute.
and Height
I'll be the guy on the
450
internet
Ant.
who hasn't seen the movie and bashes it anyways.
Ants.
We already
can,
have William and Brad
The
for
Purge
that.
has
did see it.
way more than enough of that already.
ants can purge at 451 degrees Fahrenheit.
Talk about the Ant-Mans. I haven't seen it. I haven't had a chance.
Okay, so first of all, I want to know why there wasn't a midnight showing at the theater I go to.
They don't
The-
even
Is that even a
shows
thing they
anymore.
do anymore?
No.
yeah,
actually.
a lot of times. I've been able to go. Okay, the
All of my-
latest showing they had of Ant-Man and Wasp was at 9:30.
Words.
That's why they started showing it like at 7.
Yeah, 7 the day
it actually
before,
comes
yeah.
out.
I can still normally there's at least a 10 o'clock showing
At this point,
that
I-
night before.
I
It
don't know
just
a single
depends.
theater that does it anymore.
Because it varies now.
Except for Ant-Man and Wasp. However, thank God they had an 11:30 showing of Avengers.
Mm.
I was like, I've already seen this. My
Guess
movie
what?
pass
I
isn't
haven't
gonna
seen
let
it
me.
But
That's another thing to talk about.
I went and saw it
But I went and saw it
Sunday
this Saturday.
afternoon,
Yeah.
midday.
9 in the afternoon.
Were your eyes the size of a moon?
No.
I
You
wasn't
could
on
because
a,
you can.
They
so
were
what you
red
do.
as shit, though, because I still had an eye infection.
on a scale from sugar ant to African bullet ant. Wow, how good was the movie? Are they from Africa? I have no idea.
I rated it a
don't
strong
know any-
Antonio Banderas.
Any ants. But,
Cow ant.
I'd
Cow
say...
ants are literally the
I mean, I like it. I'd definitely categorize it in like the bottom half of the
Really?
MCU movies.
How
Yeah,
dare you?
I wouldn't categorize it at the bottom. I mean,
Granted, the bottom half is still a big half.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I feel like Ant-Man's had a disconnect with the MCU since the first Ant-Man movie came out. There's just something about his movies don't like the puzzle piece fits, but there's like a gap or something. Like there's a bit
They
of a
cut the
disconnect.
piece to make it fit.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, that's exactly what happened. actually.
Canadian landscape with the sky
okay,
facing
In my
there.
ranking, I've got it right in between the first Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
That's still-
Okay.
Like
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 should be way up there. So
it's good, but as you can see based on the graph, it's
Oh my
Which
god.
one's the second one?
You
my
haven't seen that?
ranking.
Oh yes.
His ranking is like 100% different than mine. We should all do that, and then we'll
ranking
post
and
them.
compare.
And then since I'm the one that's actually posting it, I can talk about how wrong you are.
I don't
Still
want
have
to
to
do
select
this.
Yeah, that's my rank.
Mine would literally be like almost all the movies on the same level, and then like
Oh yeah, I'm
Age of
definitely gonna have
Ultron.
tiers of equal quality. movies instead of
Lori's
top
would
to
be
bottom.
movies with Loki in it.
movies with
Other-
Loki,
other
movies without Loki, movies with Cap, movies with Bucky, movies with Paul Rudd, and there's just like Friends is somewhere in there, but only the episodes that have Mike.
Hey, Lori.
But that's the thing. On a scale from 1 to
forgot his
10,
name.
the lowest.
Loki and Bucky died.
That's the thing. On my scale, measuring from 1 to 10, it only goes to 6.
Wait.
So
I need to rewatch Homecoming.
the lowest ones are still.
Oh, from 1 to 10. Now
Yeah.
to 6. Okay.
I could
everything-
rate
nothing for me.
this-
Like my rating, nothing in the
Josh,
MCU
move
goes
closer.
to a 5 or under.
I could rate this movies
scoot
that I
over.
haven't fallen asleep to.
Fine. Here, if Josh is staying in here, everyone scoot down a chair.
I don't know.
Clink
if I wanna
up, clink
stay
up,
here.
move
It doesn't
down,
matter,
move
you're
down,
moving down
clink
a
up,
chair.
clink
Now
up,
you might
move
as
down.
well.
I don't want to give up my chair.
It's
You
Josh's
don't wanna give
chair.
up my chair.
I don't want to give up Josh's chair.
But yeah, that's my.
Come join us, Joshua.
Josh will be in here. Whether he contributes anything to the podcast is up.
I
for-
mean, he's already contributing
I
to
think
the
the reason
podcast.
he made me move is because I wouldn't shut up. So.
But it's a breath of fresh air after Infinity War.
It really is.
Because it's very enjoyable, low,
I can't see the
low
picture I want to
stakes.
take.
Adventure comedy film.
It really is.
It was
That's my-
delightful.
That's my.
It was
picture for this.
delightful until it wasn't. Until the MCU reality caught up, and then you're just like,
And then
oh,
you're like, oh,
Yeah.
right.
Spoiler alert! Who died?
Spoilers.
the
Spoilers.
Pym family.
All of
Hank,
them?
Janet, and Hope. Yeah.
Wait, even the daughter?
What a load of crap! Like,
Wasp?
we rescued you, dead.
Oh,
Wait,
I mean, it's
that was
even
Wasp,
more
right?
stressful than
Yeah.
that, though.
So wait, you go through the movie and then the Infinity War happens at the end of that
Yeah.
movie?
What
That is
happens?
some bull crap
Well,
right
see,
there.
They get
And-
Janet out, and then there's between the
what
ending
was they were saving
and the actual ending.
It's
There's kind
worse
of a,
than
Oh, we
Infinity
can't bang
War.
the table, though, or Brad will kill us, because this table's
because
noisy.
they get Janet
I'm not
out,
part of this, so I
and then there's a
No,
little
you can't.
montage. There's a montage of Hank and
Hank!
Janet getting a house on the beach. I don't know exactly how much time has passed between the ending of the movie and the actual mid-credit scene, but the mid-credit scene, they're able to go in and out of the quantum realm and harvest quantum energy that
course.
is healing energy. And so Scott goes into the quantum realm to harvest quantum energy, and while he's in there,
That's gotta be the
But-
vaguest, most unscientific bull
Yeah,
crap.
right.
that's a joke they make where they keep talking about quantum stuff, and Scott goes, "Do you guys just put quantum in front of everything?" But he's in the quantum realm harvesting energy, and they're supposed to pull him out, but they can't because they all get snapped.
Which
And so Scott's
explains
stuck in the quantum
which
realm.
explains why Ant-Man is not in Infinity War.
Well, no, because if that had happened, it still would have happened after Infinity War.
Oh.
But
Well-
yeah. Well,
He was just in the quantum realm for the whole thing.
Yeah.
During,
So,
I just
which
for
would be-
talk it off is they just didn't ask Scott for help.
If the snap happens at the end, it would have been during.
Yeah, I mean, if they
Yeah.
were in the quantum
Yeah,
realm, you wouldn't have seen.
but
like,
technically the
spaceships.
snap.
Because to be fair, the time that elapsed from the spaceships hitting Earth to Thanos getting the thing is like not even half a
But
day.
at the same
Yeah.
time,
It's
Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place in California. All that happened in New York. So.
yeah, and it wouldn't even matter because like the first half of the movie is just like what we're seeing. Like the world doesn't know what's
Oh,
going
yeah,
on
absolutely.
until that stuff happens. And the time from that stuff happening is they just go, "Hey, spaceship!" They move to Wakanda and go, "Spaceship!" And then the movie ends. So
I mean,
the world was just like,
It
"Hey,
takes
there's
place
an
in a
alien,"
span
and
of
it
like
disappears.
38 hours.
And it's like, and for the most part, the spaceship in New York,
Yeah.
like that whole scene, it's like, you know, Ant-Man's probably seen that stuff on the news before, and he's like, oh, glad I live out here. So they probably didn't think anything. And then Wakanda is still, while they've opened resources, is probably still
Yeah,
a
they wouldn't have-
secretive
the world-
country.
world
So the
wouldn't
world
even know.
doesn't even
Basically,
know about
basically
that.
the
was-
world saw aliens. They randomly left, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're okay now."
Yeah,
Scott was
Avengers.
still technically under house arrest during all this as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, that's true.
So.
Yeah, so all of New York was like, "Hey, we're fine now," until half of New York gets destroyed by a small breeze.
I need to know what happened to
he-
his daughter.
It was 32
As far as I know, she
hours,
stays alive.
I just want to know
Ish.
she's okay.
but in the quantum realm, that's like 9 years or something. So
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Is there a
I've
time
been
difference?
falling
There's a
for
time
30
vortex in the
minutes.
quantum
It's-
realm because Janet, when they get Janet out, she's obviously
I was
aged, but
about-
she mentions
oh,
a time
but
vortex
not as much.
because she tells Scott, "Don't go near the time vortex."
Oh, apparently it's just a specific place. Is that how they're gonna
Yeah.
time travel?
I think
doesn't
so.
even
After
make sense.
Infinity War, they're gonna go to the
Damn it,
quantum realm.
Janet!
What I think is gonna happen.
I've been thinking that this whole time.
No, what I think is gonna happen is that Scott
It's
goes
okay.
into
They'll
the
get
time
Scarlet
vortex.
Witch to fix everything.
Is that Scott goes into the time vortex, ends up in the future, and that's why we have an older-looking Tony Stark in the set photos. And Tony Stark's gonna figure out how to use quantum realm energy to make time travel devices.
And I'm
Oh,
excited
and that's
because
how they're gonna fix the snap.
That would
But
be
the
an
thing
interesting
is, I
fix, because
think-
then young Tony wouldn't have even known he'd done that, so they can't just keep using it over and over.
what
again.
that would explain why he made sure that he lived too.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
the rumor I read was that Tony is going to hop in between different realities to collect the Infinity Stones in different timelines to create a separate,
a
That's
new gauntlet.
cheating.
An Infinity Iron Man.
an Infinity Iron Man
Dude.
gauntlet, yeah.
have you seen that cartoon where Iron
Puts
Man?
Infinity Stones around his nipples, and he's
He
like,
would.
No,
But
you have
that's
one
why-
in the boot, one in the other boot, one in the hand, one in the hand, one in the head.
He wouldn't put one in the head.
nipples.
But
It'd be
they
for-
think that
Nipples,
What's
Josh.
the time
I wanted to say visor.
the time travel can only work in specific ways depending on quantum energy. So the
Visor
reason
is my
why in the
favorite
set photos, all the
inventor.
older
Yeah,
Avenger
right.
costumes,
Second to
they're
metal
thinking that the
dude.
only reason they're able to time travel to that specific point in time is because of the two different Infinity Stones being in the same place, causing a tear.
Oh, I thought he was just gonna say the Infinity Stones are not in their native universe; they're weaker. That's what I.
That would make sense too.
Yeah, but that's less exciting than "We're gonna blow a hole in the universe. So that's fun.
But I'm sure, like, once I'm, I don't know.
All I know is I'm excited because I think before Infinity War came out, there were set pictures leaked of them back in their old Avengers 1 outfits and done up to look like their first Avengers, which means they get to see Loki again.
See, I thought that was going to be Doctor Strange. What Doctor Strange did, I thought we were going to see that, and that's why we saw that. Him looking at the different timelines and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
I'm sorry, but I'm still stuck on what the crap quantum energy means.
And
How do you harness that? Because isn't it technically just atoms of something that's already there? So if they
Well,
take
first
it
of
out,
all,
won't they
it's
just
a
be
much
like
You
tiny
hire
hole of
you
the
hire
thing?
Michael Douglas.
to be
You
fair,
make him look younger due to age regression technology. Then you hire
Yes, Josh.
Who's Michael Douglas?
Hank Pym.
Hank Pym.
Oh,
Then-
all it is, it is a specific kind of energy, but technically any energy harvested in the quantum realm would be quantum energy. So it's just a vague name.
but how? What
Television
are they
science.
doing?
He's literally going
They
up
have
to
a
an
cup.
atom.
With a lid, and they go in the quantum realm and go,
See, that's what I'm saying. You're just taking it like if they did that in my computer, it would just look, and then it just stop working, and I would have no idea why. And because something would be wrong on a quantum level, technically to a point. I don't know.
which that's why they only take a
It
little bit.
wouldn't
You
even
can only
have
take
to.
so
It wouldn't
much.
even have to be in the monitor. Maybe one of your molecules are quantum linked, and like halfway
Maybe
across the
that's
universe.
why
they take
you're
that one.
dumb.
They harvested your neurons.
But that's how they fix Ghost at the end, because Janet has absorbed all this quantum energy, and she comes out and goes, "You're fixed."
Fixed who?
The
Ghost.
main villain, the Ghost. Her name is
Goat.
Ghost.
The goat.
She has, she's been exposed to quantum energy, and she phases in and out of reality in the quantum realm. which
Like
gives her
every
phasing powers.
single individual
she
cell in her
fixes her
body
with the
does
thing
Oh, yeah,
that
they
broke
could have
her.
to.
Yeah.
But they do a really
That
good
makes sense.
job
Hey, too
of
much of anything's bad.
with Ghost. They do
So
such
you
a
add
good
more?
job of showing.
There's someone behind me.
We were following your hand.
you look.
You raised your hand, and we were following your hand motions. Anyways,
But with Ghost, they did such a good job of showing like a chronic illness of like a person who's literally going through pain every second of their lives.
Yeah.
And it's like you see a person who's
So she's
Marvel's
trying to
getting
get a
really
fix?
good with their villains.
I think so.
Mhm.
I don't know.
She's
Not
trying to
like
be healed.
not like heroin.
And that's
Yeah,
what I
they're
liked
trying
about
to
this
heal.
movie
Trying to
was
get
that the
fixed.
villains weren't really villains; they were just characters who were trying to.
She was at a level
was a
where
very
she's like,
sympathetic
I
character.
just
Doing whatever
want to
she
not
could
hurt
to fix it.
anymore.
Like she wasn't a villain; she just happened to be the antagonist.
Yeah.
Are there any massive plot holes like there was in the first one?
Only where they took out quantum energy.
There's a hole in there's a hole in his fence where him and his daughter
It
went
always-
through and broke
It
his
always
house
bugged me. He
arrest.
stresses so much at the beginning of the movie. It's like, you'll shrink, but you'll have the same mass and the same force. So it implies that he weighs the same. And then he goes, look at this tiny tank I got! Like, wouldn't that still weigh the amount of a tank? Like, isn't that how you explained it earlier? And then he goes,
I'm
look at this
convinced
tiny
that's just
tank
an-
I
just an
got! Like,
actual
wouldn't that still
tank
weigh the amount of a
keychain that he
tank?
just
Like,
enlarged.
isn't that how you
that's
explained it
awesome.
earlier? That would
I'm
make more
convinced
sense.
That's just an,
That would
just an
also-
actual
Well,
tank
however,
keychain.
Brad is-
It functions
Well,
as
that's
Brad's
also-
little.
that
on
would-
to
that would-
something.
No, it's just
because
a
you're
tank,
still, even if
like
he
a
carries
plastic
around,
tank
he carries
keychain that
around
you-
a case that has tons of cars in it that he just
Maybe
puts out,
just the
puts
size
Yeah.
down, and everything.
Maybe
So
he's just really
you're
strong
still,
'cause
even
he's
if
a
it was just a
superhero.
keychain, you're still onto something because he
That's the
literally
best
has it
argument
looks
I've
like a little
seen
Hot Wheels case.
Maybe
But
argue with that last decide whether or not they keep the same mass or
Well,
not.
maybe he's just
Maybe.
really strong because he's a
Maybe I'm just
superhero.
overanalyzing.
That's the best argument I've seen so far.
Can't argue with that logic.
What? No, okay, so he he has to have the suit to get small and whatever. Maybe that's what lets him keep his whole mask thing. Maybe the other stuff doesn't.
Why not? I'll buy that. That's the best explanation I've had so far.
I just don't care. I'm just like, all right,
I just
this
enjoyed
happens.
the movie.
I know. They use quantum energy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they made Captain America strong with some prune juice and some gamma radiation. So, like, what logic am I looking for
Black
here?
Panther gets strong from a flower.
Yeah, but a flower a god gave him.
Flower power.
Black
The ultimate
Panther
hippie.
suit can zoom.
Yeah, but that's vibranium. They explained that. I wish that they could see the face I'm making.
Isn't Captain America's shield vibranium too?
Yeah.
I almost said vibrator.
I love
and
watching
I
the
was
first-
like, no, it's
the
not.
first-
So is Bucky's arm.
The first
the vibrator. Yeah, Bucky's arm vibranium.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was
So if Wolverine was in this universe, you think his claws would be? Or his everything?
And they probably just still
No,
use
Can Magneto
adamantium.
control
Would it be
vibranium?
because adamantine's super strong,
I
but
don't
it's
think
not
so,
like
actually.
it's not
I
vibranium.
think they make a big deal about that in the
Is
comics
that-
that he can't. But I'm
Because
not
it's like
sure.
metal detectors it doesn't set off metal detectors.
Yeah.
But neither
You
does
think-
blood.
You think Magneto can control vibranium stuff?
That's what we were just
Well,
talking
that's
about.
what we were talking about.
I think not, but I'm actually
well,
not.
if
Because
it's
I'm like-
vibrating proof,
But-
then maybe.
I think
Because
it's
I'm like,
because
on the
I don't think he
one
can
hand-
because it's such a versatile substance.
But he can magnet up whatever Thor's hammer is made out of, and that's probably made out of something crazy. It's like they're gonna be the biggest hack of all time.
I guess
Like, I
his
can use
powers
Thor's hammer.
But he can
go
only
through
use
the
it like a hammer.
enchantment.
Yeah, I
he
don't
can't
think he
use
gets- he
it
doesn't
like
get the
Thor
powers.
can.
He's just
I guess
picking
if
up
he
a
had the
giant,
That'd
power
still
to
be super-
lift that,
I mean, he's
without
still
the-
holding-
giant chunk of steel.
getting past the
But
enchantment.
yeah, it's like he's holding a giant
Granted,
metal hammer,
and
but
From what someone's told me, Hulk does the same thing. Hulk can pick up the hammer because he's just that strong, but he still doesn't get the powers. He's not worthy. He's just ripped.
Captain America
He
can
just
move it
swole.
because he's pure, and I'm
Can-
still.
Can Hulk even pick it up, or can he just like kind of swing it around?
still-
It's so heavy.
I
when
still
Hulk is in
love-
control of his powers, he's actually stronger and he can pick it up. That's what
I
I'm
still
told.
love
don't know.
in
I would
in the first Avengers when he tries to lift it up and he literally almost just pulls up the entire craft by pushing himself down instead.
Anyways,
Oh
if we start talking about the first Avenger, it'll go on forever.
Welcome to
I
our
don't think there's any
15th
plot holes
Marvel
in there.
podcast.
Oh yeah, plot holes.
Asian Jim plays the officer in charge of.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The dad from Fresh Off the Boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have the funniest scene in the whole movie. Like, I was really laughing out loud at the end where they take the ankle monitor off and Asian Jim's like, all right, I'll see you real soon, Scott. And Scott's like, what? And he's like, what do you mean you see me soon? Like, are you going to come back? And he's like, what? And they're like, I thought you were like asking me out to dinner or something. You said you're going to see me soon. He's like, no, I wasn't going to do that. And they go on about it. And then he turns to leave and he turns back around to Scott and goes, so do you want to go get dinner sometime? And I was like dying because I was like, this is the funniest shit I've seen
But the
all
great
year.
thing, the way they get around his house arrest is they put the house arrest bracelet on a giant ant who has been programmed to go through his daily routine. And so at one point the daughter walks in and the ant's in like the bathtub.
Trained, not programmed.
No, he's
well,
programmed.
they're
No,
programmed.
he's actually,
they
they
mind control.
state that he's programmed.
This movie would have been
It's
so,
slavery!
I don't know.
Yeah,
With
but I mean,
extra
it's
steps.
ants.
this movie would have been so much better if the black market character Stoney Birch was actually Justin Hammer instead.
Oh man,
I
that'd be
don't
great.
know those words you just said.
Justin Hammer?
Is
From
that
Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2?
Oh, it's been a hot minute since I've seen Iron Man 2.
Iron Man
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been so
Dude,
much
I
funnier
want him to
if
come
that
back
was
as a
him.
villain. Like,
I'm
when-
thinking if they do Thunderbolts, he's going to come
when
back.
Green
as
Goblin
that.
comes back to make the Avengers, which is called Hammer, by the way,
Yeah.
I want Justin Hammer to be Iron Man.
I'm not gonna go
Grant-
that far.
In Infinity War, he tried to arrest the Avengers in Infinity War. Like, they're going that far.
I think they're definitely going that route.
Because I'm pretty sure that character is the one that ends up doing it in the comics.
Yeah.
I figured they would stop after the whole Infinity War thing.
No, but like, that's why because that character, he was in the first movie.
Like, you mean Marvel
he
in
was-
general?
yeah, the
Oh,
movies.
God, no.
No, he was in the
They
Hulk.
have stuff.
You remember? Like, if he's still here, he was in the Hulk.
The thing is,
If he's
Ghost-
still here, he's gonna be important. He was the one hunting the
I would
Hulk.
love for Ghost to come
Like,
back.
if he's
Ghost
still
is a
here, he's
member
gonna
of
be important.
Thunderbolts,
Is she
so
really?
I don't remember that.
I'm
We
feeling
just watched
like
it,
that's-
I don't remember that.
I feel like if Thunderbolts becomes a thing, Bill Foster and Ghost are going to be the a part of it, and Bill Foster is going to play sort of the same role that
Does
Selvig
Ghost still
played
have powers?
in
Yeah.
First Avengers, huh?
Does Ghost still have powers?
I think so.
They'll
You
be
can
able to use quantum
That's why adding more helps. You can just
She-
control it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she...
They're using quantum
Stabilized it.
explanations.
To be fair, you're like, what? To be fair, with the whole quantum energy thing, she can walk through walls. You can go with quantum energy. That makes no sense.
No, that does.
But Kitty makes. But my point is, even if you said that Kitty can walk through walls, they just go, it's a random mutation. So to be fair, I think we have actually moved up in the world.
I actually feel like if they do introduce the X-Men into the movies, this is how the route they're going to do it. They're going to say, oh, quantum energy's leaked into the real world and create mutants.
I guess
Yeah.
that makes more. They never really do explain the mutants in X-Men, do they?
Yeah,
It's
no.
just the mutant gene.
Just the
Yeah,
mutant gene. I
Just
feel like if
random-
they introduce
I mean,
X-Men
it
in the MCU,
happens.
this is how they're going to
It's
do
not
it.
powers. It's
Could you
usually like a
imagine a
third
guy
foot,
named
but-
Gene?
And
Who's a
wait,
mutant?
no,
He's
they did
like,
explain
hey,
it. What
I'm
is Gene
mutant
Grey?
Gene.
Didn't the mutant gene originally come from Apocalypse, right? And he just
Yeah.
his genes. He was the
Oh,
first
yeah,
random
maybe. I
mutation.
don't know.
That makes sense.
But anyways, they're making Black Widow prequels apparently.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
bummed that it's a prequel.
Is it going to be a spy movie then?
See, that would be interesting. It'd be
If that's the case,
I'm
there's-
kind of bummed it's a prequel too, but I
But
feel like the reason they're
it
doing
de-
that.
It depends on what they do. Like if they do a Mission Impossible type spy movie,
Mhm.
that would
Maybe
be
it'll be
interesting
about
because
her
we don't have
defection.
anything. Yeah, maybe that would be cool,
It'd
or
be
be
cool.
like maybe even her origin story because it is
Maybe,
really
'cause
vague.
I feel like they're
It'd
wanting
be the
to.
first Marvel movie that they released that doesn't really have someone who has like a power.
It would be really
Yeah.
interesting that this is the movie where she defects and you actually see Hawkeye hunting her for the whole movie.
Yeah.
Maybe the first movie is from the point of view of Hawkeye.
But
I
I'd
would
like
say
that.
he's
I-
the antagonist.
I
I'd
almost-
like
not
I
only
would-
from the
yeah,
point of view
I
of
was gonna
Hawkeye.
say, I'd hate
like
if-
half and half.
Because I was going to say, if they ended up making Hawkeye that big of a character in the Black Widow movie, it'd almost feel like a bait and switch. Because I
You mean
I
like
would
they
say,
have
yeah.
done with every other time Black Widow's been in the movie, like
Well,
Captain
but
America
no,
2?
but
Captain
no.
America 2, the story of Black Widow.
Well, but it really was.
Iron Man 2, the story of Black Widow.
But
She
it
has
really
more
wasn't.
screen. Like I said before, she has in the Discord. She has had more screen time than characters that have had their own movie. That's why I'm kind of like blah with this.
Well,
prequel.
then she kind of deserves her own.
That is true, but what I'm saying is, like, but my point is also that Hawkeye's had no screen time. So
Oh God,
giving
yeah.
him equal, at least not even equal, like 1/3 time, like actually seeing his point of view hunting her every once in a while would be really interesting.
And it'd be really great to get to see a Hawkeye movie without his family.
Well,
Because
I ain't touching that can of worms.
that family is dust, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Good, that would be the best motivator.
I've never seen Lori hate something so much.
As Hawkeye's
I know she just
family.
hates Velma that much. What does
I
Velma
have
ever do
no
to
problem
you?
with Hawkeye's family.
I don't know. It just
You know-
it
you know
bothers
Velma's the
me.
mom?
I think it's very wholesome.
You know Velma?
It is, and I don't want that in
Not
Hawkeye.
maybe do.
Don't give me a wholesome Hawkeye.
I like wholesome.
Time out. Just random fact. You know Velma is
Yeah.
what's her face from Gravity Falls?
Mhm.
Wendy.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I feel I saw her in something else recently.
Her and James Gunn were a couple, I think, once years back.
That's like
I
the
think-
cutest
Who
couple.
cares about celebrity couples? There's only one celebrity couple that matters.
No, it was her and Jason Segel.
Oh, that's even cuter.
I think.
The only celebrity couple that matters is Josh Groban
And Kat Denning.
Kat Dennings. They will have the prettiest children known to man. They will take over the world.
Anyways,
Darcy, from the
Darcy
Thor
from the
movies.
Thor movies.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Granted, she looks nothing like that.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh my God, they're such a cute
But anyways,
couple.
I'm as much crap as I've given the Black Widow movie. I am really interested with what they do with it.
And I mean,
it
I'll
has
definitely go
potential
see
to be
it.
something amazing. I actually kind of would love a Mission Impossible type spy movie because it would be something different. Although it's really interesting if you watch the Mission Impossible or just spy movies in general.
Mhm.
What a big turn they've taken because Mission Impossible 1 and 2 and I think 3 were basically like, we're going to go in. Or even Oceans, even the Oceans movies, like Oceans
Yeah.
11 versus Oceans 8. The original Oceans movies, I know I loved Oceans 8. The original Oceans
God.
movies, like, we're gonna go in, we're gonna do this, it's gonna work. And they go in, they do it, it works. Every now and then they'll have a hiccup, but it's fine. As opposed to the new Mission Impossible movies in Oceans 8, where they go in and crap just hits the fan. And it's less a movie about meticulous planning and more a movie about improvisation after the fact.
Mhm.
It's just interesting to see that how the movies evolved to be something almost a different genre of movie. But
Yeah.
it's about the same
It was
thing.
kind of weird that it was called Mission Impossible and everything
It was very
worked.
possible.
And then the new Mission Impossible, or the first new
Mission
Mission Impossible.
Impossible.
What was it? The fourth one.
I
had a
don't
cool
know.
name. I don't remember.
I don't watch
Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, and
any
just
of
like
them.
everything went wrong, and it was just so much more exciting.
Simon Pegg was there.
Dude jumped out of a window. It was the only time I've ever saw Tom Cruise and went, "This is cool." And Legend, I guess, but he was 12 at the time.
That was not cool. I love that movie, but Legend's not cool.
I didn't say it was a good movie, but Legends is.
No,
I
I
love
said
when
it
he
is a good
sings
movie.
in Rock of
No,
Ages.
I said it's not.
I think that they're
Cool.
gonna
That's
do
right.
a Black Widow
Oh, yeah.
trilogy is while they're doing.
I think so too, but quick, I gotta
gotta.
defend myself here. Legends
Brad has to
in
defend
the
his
fantasy
honor.
genre, Legends is like amazing.
No, yeah, I
Tom
said
Cruise
it's a
ain't that
great
bad. Tom
movie,
Cruise
but that
is a great
doesn't mean
actor.
it's cool.
He annoys me though.
There's a difference
I don't
between
know
His
why.
public persona is annoying, but him as an actor is fantastic.
Can't talk over each other. That's
I've
why
never
we don't
been
do podcasts
disappointed
with
in
4
Tom
people.
This is what our podcast is. People want to know what we're branded is. It is 3 to 4 people.
It
who
always
are
goes off
talking
the rail
over
with 4
each
people because
other.
the other 2 people start having their own conversation. Then you can't hear
Tom
crap.
Cruise
Why
always
3
delivers.
2 4 people?
You know the best thing Tom Cruise ever
344.
did? Where that weird thing in Rock of Ages that was like the dragon with like the tongue thing, and it's like.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You were the only one that remembers that from Rock of
It's
Ages.
because I watch Rock of Ages on a weekly basis. 'cause
I haven't seen
love that
Rock of
movie.
Ages since we went to see it.
from
I've
that
seen
time
it a
that we
few times,
snuck
but-
in.
And we were so stressed the whole movie.
Yeah, I was so stressed when I snuck in that I went and bought a ticket.
I
Like-
remember that.
Had there been other people in that theater, I would have been fine, but we were the only ones.
I
And
see-
that's what got me.
I see-
Because they would know that no one bought a ticket. And so if they walked in,
That's the only time I've ever done
which
that, and I
also,
will never
which
do
also
it
proves,
again.
like, if
because
no one
it was
buys a ticket, do they
stressful.
still show the
There.
movie? Yes. Yes, they do. Because what if someone buys a ticket halfway through? They ain't going to say no.
But
They're going to make a Black Widow, probably going to be a trilogy.
Probably gonna be a
Maybe
trilogy.
2 movies. A trilogy might be a bit much.
we'll see.
It depends on how it goes.
Well, it
Because
might-
if it makes a bunch of money, it probably will be.
It might be like Black Widow Hawkeye trilogy thing.
Oh, it
Yeah.
starts
Be
off
one
as Black
and-
Widow and then a Hawkeye.
Because
And
Yes,
then it's
okay.
together.
And we finally get to see what happened in
Budapest.
Budapest.
Well, maybe
I don't even
that's
care
top
about that. I don't give
secret.
a shit what happened.
I don't care either, but I've been saying that since
They-
no one-
they'd have
no
to-
one
it'll
gives a
go
crap
from
about
being-
what you think.
It'll
William.
go from being a Whedon quippy one-liner to actually having meaning.
Yeah. That's
So they'll get to take it away from Whedon.
To be fair, the
Shit,
first,
what was I about to say?
There was the first Avengers just not as good, or we are nostalgiaing it. And
I
it's
still
just-
like First Avengers.
because
It
the
was
other
okay.
because it was just a bunch of one-liners strung together. But why is that better than the other movies?
I think it's
I
like
think
looking
it's
at it
because-
now compared to the quality we've gotten recently.
Maybe.
Well, and I also
It
think
was-
that the first Avengers, yes, it was some quippy liners and stuff like that,
But
but
it
all the
still
characters
tied
felt
together
kind
all
of
the other
organic,
movies.
and
Yeah.
it tied together
It
well.
was the
Okay.
first
The
major
next one-
multi-hero.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I was asking though. Is it just nostalgia for that,
I
or was it
almost-
genuinely still
I
good?
feel the next one he tried to keep those one-liners, but then he tried to force
This,
very
to be fair,
inorganic choices.
my main complaint about that is that it doesn't tie together things in an organic way.
Yeah.
And I suppose because I'm already complaining, and then I complain about the one-liners.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'll buy that. Once I start complaining, I start nitpicking everything.
First Avengers
Is it
is
the
still better
second
than
Avengers?
Age
The
of
Avengers,
Ultron.
the Incredibles podcast
Which one's
proves
the
that.
second Avengers? Is that
Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. That he doesn't remember which one the second one is. I don't think you've even seen Age of
I
Ultron.
don't. No, I have. We did the Marvel marathon. Remember?
I
Did you
forgot about
watch
that.
it?
That's the only time. But no,
I didn't
because
watch
no
Age
one
of
calls it
Ultron either.
Avengers Age of Ultron. They call it Age of Ultron.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And then there's Civil War, and it's Captain America Civil War,
I
but
was
I
like-
forget that that's a Captain America
Yeah,
movie.
it's like
so either
Civil
one of
War-
those could have
to be
been
fair,
either
it
one to
very
me.
well
Civil
could've-
War feels more like an Avengers movie than Age of Ultron.
I do get why they made it the Captain America movie because
Well,
if it
because
had
it's
been,
a very Captain America.
yeah, if they had marketed, it
About
could have
him.
marketed either way. But if they had done Avengers, it would have been a bit weird.
It was
but
called the Russo brothers fix Joss Whedon screw ups.
Dad hates Captain America, and I get why because it's very political. But
Mhm.
like, it just
I hated
There's-
Comic Cap. but
there's
I love the
so
movie.
much about that movie that is good. There's just
The first
like,
movie or Civil War?
it's Civil War.
Oh,
Like
Oh, political, of course.
It's my
yeah.
favorite of all the.
I saw that. I don't know if I put it at the
MCU.
top, but the way they tie everything to
Definitely not my favorite.
the way they tie in everything that's happened before and still move the plot along
Yeah.
after the crap that happened before that, both in canon and not in real life. Just is amazing to me the way
I
they
think
did
it's
that.
a great movie, but at the same time, I hate it not because of the movie, but because of the stupidity of the people in the movie.
Yeah,
which is
because we
necessary.
all know that Iron Man has this huge ego, but it's never been a huge issue except for the apocalypse he's caused. And it's nice to see that Iron Man, like, because we know Iron Man is flawed, and you really see that. Did Iron Man 3 come in before or after that? Was it before?
Wait, what?
Did Iron Man 3 come in before or after Civil War?
That was before. Yeah.
Because you would think, honestly, it would have been a lot better, I think, if it had came in after, because
Yes.
it would have been a lot more growth, but you can't really... With movies, you have to release them when you can.
See, I still...
That's the problem with movies versus comics, but...
It's like Iron Man 3 tends to be rated pretty low on stuff, but I'll still...
I love Iron Man.
I love
Iron
It's
Man
like-
3. A lot of the problem with Iron Man 3 is that it's not true to the comics, because Iron Man 3 is one of the perfect examples of making a story about what is happening now. Like, they still have that character, but he's a front for basically corporate America. And
Yeah.
that is so much more real
Yeah.
than...
That's so much more
'Cause-
real and interesting to me than
Just
stereotypical Asian magician guy.
Yeah, it's like...
And that's why they did that, because they wanted to avoid stereotypes. That's why they made the ancient
Why
one
did they?
Tilda Swinton, because they wanted to avoid...
To be
Stereotype.
fair, if you
Still,
ever want to make someone that's mysterious and genderless, Tilda Swinton.
She...
Have you
Seriously.
seen Constantine?
that
Yeah, I
was the
was
first
about to
time I
mention
ever
that too.
saw
Her
Tilda
Gabriel and
Swinton.
That was the first time I ever saw Tilda Swinton
Me
either, and I was not convinced of what gender she was, and I think that's what
That was
made
the point.
I know, and it was incredible. I
plays
loved
Bob
it.
Dylan.
She's so
in that one
good
movie.
at being androgynous.
Weird.
Yeah,
Ugh.
she's great. I think Alicia is like more in love with her than like any other person.
I thought you were
Like,
about to
he's
say with
probably my
you,
second
and I was
favorite
like, I mean,
actor.
can you
He
blame
said
her
any
though?
other
Like,
person.
Oh well, I mean, it's like you got Bucky and Tilda Swinton
oh
and
my god,
any strong female person that at least
Gwendolyn Christie.
I think my favorite Marvel movie is Thor Ragnarok.
That's a good one.
That's
a lot
fair.
of people.
That is
I mean,
very
that's a
you.
really good one.
I don't think so. It's very good.
And it's very me.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the Marvel movies is that
It's-
that you can hate
don't
some Marvel
follow,
movies, but there's so many different types of Marvel movies that there's one for everyone.
And they're still worth watching just for the story to connect them later on.
yeah, except for
Since
Thor
they're
Dark
all connected.
World. Actually, when we rewatched Thor Dark World, it wasn't as bad as I remember.
It's got some good parts in it.
We
though.
rewatched
just-
it and I still don't remember it.
Thor
'Cause
Dark
we
World.
slept. Me and
Thor
you slept during Dark
World's
World.
personification.
I know! I didn't want to watch this stupid movie, and both of you fell asleep, so I had to, so someone changed the DVD. I felt so betrayed.
Was that the last one? No,
That's
not
the-
That's the second Thor.
I don't remember falling asleep during it.
It's the one that came after.
I was so mad. I was so mad.
Iron Man 3.
Anyways, continue.
We both fell asleep
Thor-
after Iron Man 3. 'Cause
Thor
it was like
2.
3 in the morning.
Thor 2, I think, did a better job with Loki than
Oh, you know
any
what?
of the
Oh, yeah.
previous.
I will give you that. Yes, absolutely.
And that's why I love Thor 2,
Absolutely.
because they took Loki's character,
Like when
and that
he's-
was
Oh,
the
that's the
first
one where
time
he
you
takes
really.
over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you saw him more as that trickster, more as
Yeah, like
lighthearted.
when he's mourning his mother, but he
Yeah.
refuses to show it, and he's
Yeah,
himself.
and then
that was
and like
I
the
will give
little
you that.
and as much as I bug Joss
He's
Whedon about
probably
his
the only
one-liners,
person-
Loki's one-liners in Thor Dark World, they're really good. He feels more Loki.
The thing with Loki and one-liners is that there's a difference between a one-liner quip and a one-liner that's meant to really hurt the character it's
Yeah.
going at. Like, that's
But
the beauty of Loki.
I think that Thor
He knows how to
2 was
really
the
make it.
perfect bridge to bring Loki's character to who he was in Thor
I will.
3.
You know what? I will give
Without
you that.
Thor
that does make it
2,
worth it.
I don't think Loki's character would have
Loki in
worked.
Thor
Yeah.
2 is very, very good. It's a shame the rest of the movie is so... Honestly, if the movie had not had Natalie Portman's character... I won't say Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman is amazing. But if it had not had her character in it again,
Mhm.
I think it would have been better. She felt like it just kind of bogged down. You could tell she didn't really want to do that movie.
She did.
I want to say...
She
well,
didn't
it's
want to do
because
it.
she
They
was,
made her do it.
Yeah,
Didn't want to
because
do
it was supposed to be a different...
It was Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Patty Jenkins, and so she was
Yeah.
really stoked about it. And then when
That
Patty
would've been
Jenkins
really
wasn't a part of it,
interesting. I really would
Natalie
have loved
Portman
it.
checked out.
Why-
She's the one who did Wonder Woman.
Why did she leave?
She,
The
the director.
Yeah,
The,
director.
the only good DC movie.
Feige had different opinions about where they wanted to take the story. She wanted to do something more akin to Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, well...
And Feige wanted to
I can see why you wouldn't want that in these movies. Like, they already tried with, Honestly, it might
Hulk
have
and
been
Black
just
Widow.
overcorrection, not wanting to do a Hulk and Black Widow mistake again.
Ugh.
Like, I get where he was coming from. I totally see why he would pair up those characters.
And that
But
would have
there's
been
just-
great if he hadn't already tried to pair up Black Widow and Hawkeye in the first Avengers.
And then Black Widow and Captain America 2. Like, she went from being... She was
But
like really...
see,
It made it a little
But the
really
thing
slutty.
is, in Captain America, I didn't really see them much as an item. Like, I saw...
I know, and honestly, that is some people's problem, because it just made her seem kind of...
But it's
nasty.
well, no, the things that they did, it's like the kiss that she did whenever
Yeah,
they
I'm not
broke,
even
she's
talking
like,
about that. That's
people
different.
people tend to not look at
But
that.
she
And
did,
it's like,
she did like half flirt with him through the entire
Yeah,
movie.
It's
but
not her
she's-
fault.
that's
The
just how she
director
talks.
thought.
I
knew
know,
what he was
there's a
doing.
big difference between
That's a quality
her
comment,
and Captain
Josh.
America and
I know.
that, and then what they did
And
with her and Hulk,
I
and
agree,
what they did
but
with
my
her and
point
Hulk.
is, it gets intensified because of what happened before and after.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause I
it
don't
on its
even-
own wouldn't be a problem, but because they kept trying, except
But that's-
going back makes it look really weird.
But that's because every time I watch Civil War, I'm like, there's a lot of subtext here between Steve and Bucky.
Yeah, I mean that I see. Hawkeye and Black Widow. What now?
I'm oblivious to the
Captain
case.
America,
second one.
First Avenger,
I don't
Captain
see
America,
that.
Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War.
Hawkeye and Bucky, I feel like is one of those things where putting a romantic aspect actually diminishes how.
Captain America and Bucky.
Oh, I said Hawkeye. That'd be interesting too. Captain America and Bucky. I feel like it's one of those things like in Attack on Titan. If you watch it, where they do Marco and
Polo.
no, I can't remember the other guy's name.
Rubio?
But I feel like there are instances where like trying to put in a romantic aspect can actually diminish how strong the bond is.
But see, and
I feel like that is one of those. I feel like this is one of those times.
And I get that, and
I don't think they should have given him a family that made him a wuss, but
it's like, I get that, but I'm so sick of hearing that excuse with every single possibility of a male pairing. And I'm not diminishing what you say.
yeah, I
It's
get
just
that. I see because
literally
on the male pairing in the Marvel universe, I'm all for that. I believe
Yeah.
that's intentionally
And
what
it's
they're
like,
trying to do.
and it's like, and the thing is it's like with any same-sex pairing that fandoms
Yeah.
create themselves, that's always the thing. You're diminishing the bromance, you're diminishing this
Yeah.
friendship. However, a male and female can be across the room and look at each other, and all of a sudden, oh look,
See,
Black Widow and Hulk's an item.
I totally
And
get what
it's
you're
like, my
coming from.
theory
Yeah,
is
I
if
agree with
Bucky
that.
Even though I'm the exact opposite of that. I'm not pairing the male and the female,
Yeah.
and I am the
'Cause
two males. But
if we went back and we watched Winter Soldier and Bucky was a female or Captain America was a female, that movie would have ended in romance.
yeah, that is
literally.
the
The
problem.
way I look at it, because I know I had this argument with someone, is that I'm not against Cap and Bucky being an item because I just don't really see it, which I
Mhm.
don't. But I'm against it because I'm just against romance and superhero movies in general.
Anyways,
That was kind of my problem with
the
so
only one I thought was
He's in
appropriate and was well written was not Visor, Vision, and
Wanda.
Wanda.
They're-
Like,
It
my
was
thing,
very
if it
short.
feels
it's interesting if you think about
Yeah,
it because
I'm
they're actually
okay
made
with
from
it.
the same magical artifact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst romance, because first of all, I think the main problem is there was not time for Hulk and Black Widow, regardless of how good or bad it was. There was just not
And
time
it's
in
just
that movie.
out of nowhere
Yeah,
from the
kind of.
get-go.
Like, I get where they were coming from, but there was no build-up before that.
Because it was
Yeah.
literally
kind of-
this one character going, so, you and Bruce, and then another, so, you and Bruce. And I'm like, oh my god, it's
But-
like he's holding these two characters and just trying to be like, and now
But not
kiss."
nearly as much as the one between Captain America.
and
and-
Agent 13.
It's just like...
that
Aaron
kiss.
Carter.
Oh, hey, let me kiss
We-
you 2 minutes after we just buried your
yeah.
dead aunt.
We barely met each other, and we just buried my aunt, who you were in love with, but let's kiss. And both guys in the car were just like, yeah.
Let
That's
me
the worst
stick
thing
my
about
tongue
that
down your
kiss.
throat while Bucky watches on to
Oh,
prove that I
that-
really
no.
am a hetero
Yeah,
man.
exactly. And then she just disappears, as she should have.
The problem with that kiss
I didn't have
is
an
that
issue with Sharon Carter.
the
I would
kiss-
have loved for them to bring her in.
Well, I mean,
this is
after that
like,
if you're
point.
gonna bring her in, keep her in.
it's like just
the
keep her
thing-
tongue out of Captain America's
like
mouth.
it wasn't added.
Give
It wasn't
time.
put
Leave
in
room
there
for
to-
Jesus.
It wasn't put in there to be like, yeah, Cap's heterosexual. It was literally only in there to set up a joke. And that's why I hate it so much.
Oh yeah,
But-
that is just as bad.
Is because it was literally just there to set up that joke of Falcon and Bucky watching and nodding with approval.
Yeah.
And it's just that, to me, that makes it worse. I think they finally moved past that, which is great. Because the Russos have talked about not wanting to do any
Oh
romances.
wait, I'm on selfie.
Feige's been all like, yeah, we're just gonna focus on the stories.
And I love that. And I'm okay with organic romances that just kind of feel and build. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good with Antman and Wasp. There's just
Yeah, if
something
you're
there
gonna
that
do
just
it,
kind of...
do it inside their own
flows.
movies, you know?
Yeah.
Black Widow and Hawkeye in the first Avengers. It wasn't really an established romance thing. There wasn't anything. It's just... She looked at him and, she was like, I know what it feels like to be, pulled apart.
I think the worst.
Stuff like
I think
that.
the worst part about Hulk and Black Widow is that you really saw a side of Black Widow you never saw before. That was really cool.
Mhm.
I wish it hadn't been under those circumstances.
I love that Thor 3 just completely makes fun of it.
Yeah.
The sun's getting real low. The sun's getting low. The sun's getting
Yeah,
low.
I forgot. It's like, stop saying that.
Thor 3 makes fun of it, and then Infinity War just crushes it.
Oh
And
my
it's
god,
just-
this is awkward.
And no other character other than Falcon could have said that without it just being forced.
I don't remember when it happens.
It's when they see each other again, and Falcon is
But it's
standing
like-
there, and he's
Oh,
like, well,
okay,
this is
yeah.
I feel
awkward.
like the ending of Doctor Strange really solidified that whole idea of, we're done with romances between
Mhm.
characters. We're just going to focus on characters and
Yeah,
stories.
it's just there's not with them trying to do what they're doing. There's almost just not time.
Yeah.
That's
What they said in the first interviews of
It's,
Unless they're gonna
the
do it
weird
in the
together,
first
librarian guy and
Avengers.
Doctor Strange.
Unless they're
they
gonna do it
totally
together
have this
where,
thing
like,
going.
where they're like literally gonna like intentionally make a dynamic duo like they did Wanda and Vision. It's just gonna be really hard to do.
Yeah, it's like I feel there's just certain ones that work
Yeah.
in it. Wanda and Vision, T'Challa and
See, Wanda and
Nakia.
Vision just had so much in common, though.
Well,
Like they had
the
just
reason
been
I
created
think-
without being
Hope
asked.
and Scott.
Hope and Scott.
The reason I think
And
it
of course,
worked
Tony and Pepper.
is
that's
because
just
Tony
a
and
it's-
Pepper,
relationship.
Star-Lord,
Whatever they end up doing-
Star-Lord and Gamora.
Star-Lord and Gamora, because that whole family thing.
Yeah.
Whatever they end up doing with Peter and Michelle.
Well, they were in their
if
own
they
movie.
Yeah.
ever moved that along.
And what were you gonna say, Josh? Because that's what that.
The reason I think Wanda and Vision worked is because they showed their romance during romance time. There was no war. They were actually trying to date.
It was organic.
They weren't just looking at each other during a war. And it
Yeah.
was like spur of the moment
and like
crap.
every person we've mentioned that like, oh, we're okay with this. It has been build up. Like they
Yeah.
mention it in the movie.
Yeah.
They make it a little bit stronger later, and then it's a thing. And like, oh,
because ever
it's
since
like Coulson. Like if Coulson, imagine like if just Coulson had been a character only in Infinity War and died, no one would have cared. But he'd have been in every other movie. We cared. Even if he was
Yeah.
barely in any other movie, we cared.
But it's like
So much that he got his own TV show.
the connection
died
between
during
Vision and
Snap?
Wanda.
Or did he even count? Because
I don't
he
know.
wasn't
I don't know,
really
but
dead
he's
anyway.
gonna be in Captain
Watched
Marvel.
I haven't watched the show since
I
the
haven't watched
snap.
it lately either.
Dang,
Has
that's-
the
Oh, they
show-
didn't do anything with it. They didn't. I read on Reddit that they didn't bother with the snap.
Are they trying to disconnect the
I
show
think
from
they
the?
are.
I wouldn't say
movies?
they're trying to loosely disconnect it
It's for
because
the best because if they're not going to actively
because
try,
Marvel,
they need to not do it at
well,
all.
Marvel TV's under Marvel Entertainment, or the movies are under Disney, and Feige and Perlmutter hate each other.
So they're
So
trying to-
Feige's just trying to disconnect. They're just trying to disconnect from
which
each
is
other.
upsetting because
so unfortunate.
I felt there was something really amazing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Marvel TV universe,
Yeah.
and the fact that I've never witnessed something where
Agreed.
the movies and there's this television show and they all just go in line.
It would have been amazing, but it would have been so difficult and required
Because-
every single
Yeah.
movie part
Because
to work
if
properly.
DC could have pulled off something like that, because DC TV is strong.
That's true.
I don't watch it,
If
but
DC had
it
made
is
movies from their
strong.
TV show, they probably would have been better
Yeah.
off.
Have you watched
Because they did
Supergirl?
the big thing where
Huh?
they did a
Have you watched
huge
Supergirl?
crossover in
No.
the DC TV.
And they did a lot better
But
than
you might
the
And
think
it
Defenders
did really,
did.
yeah.
I haven't
wanted
seen
to,
any
but
of
I-
the DC
yeah.
shows.
It's
so.
like Marvel's just not been
watched a little bit of
super
Arrow,
strong
but
with
that's it.
their
I mean,
TV.
It's like that's
Josh
why
watched
Inhumans
Arrows,
became a TV show instead of a movie because Feige didn't want to do Inhumans.
Mm-hmm.
Perlmutter did, and so once they separated,
I really thought they were going to have Inhumans be the new X-Men.
but now they got the X-Men,
Yeah, that's true.
or they will have the X-Men.
What does that mean?
But shit, I was about to say something else.
I mean, they got
But
Fox,
Marvel-
they have
yeah.
X-Men back.
Why I feel
Yeah,
like
As much as I
Marvel
hate the
got all their
X-Men,
Fox stuff.
I didn't think about that.
as much as I hate the X-Men, I think if they do it okay, I'll watch them. I'll still bitch about them
Yeah,
because that's
but,
what I do.
Yeah, but
If we don't have Ellen Page in, I don't care.
what's his name?
That's the only reason I show up.
Brad?
Hugh. Yes. What is his name?
Hi.
Hugh.
This is
Jackman?
the greatest
Jackman.
show.
I was gonna say it,
He's
then it
gone.
didn't sound right. I know exactly. He's not gonna be Wolverine, so it's
No.
not. Gonna be
They're
worth
probably
watching.
not even going to have Wolverine
Yeah,
because
they
of
might
what
not.
happened to Wolverine. Like,
They probably won't start.
Which
off.
when the entire franchise becomes about one character, it's really hard. Like, if they had brought Wolverine
Well, that's
back,
not the
everyone would
best
be
movies,
sick of it.
though.
Which
What
I
I
think
think
is
they're
a
gonna-
really good thing about the MCU right now is
He should
it's
just be
like
cameos.
Well,
there was a moment where you were worried it was going to become very Iron Man because Robert Downey Jr. he's the
But
highest paid,
to-
but they're kind of
To be
balancing.
fair, the reason it was about Wolverine is because Hugh Jackman is just that good.
Hugh Jackman is
and that
Wolverine.
Those are
is
some of the
that
good
is
movies.
fair. Like as much as I am sick of Wolverine, I mean when Hugh Jackman was given a script that wasn't garbage, it made the movie
Mhm.
amazing. And so they probably couldn't even do that again if they tried.
Well,
Like,
he's big enough to say no to a bad script too.
at this point now, yeah, I mean he did basically end the entire X-Men franchise on his own by
That's
going,
like-
I'm done.
Unlike,
They're like, oh no, we don't have any other characters anymore. What are we gonna do?
I'm sure
We better just sell everything to Disney. That's why it happened.
That's why it
That's why it happened because Hugh Jackman said no.
What if Disney went to Hugh Jackman and was like, "Hey, Hugh," and slid him a script, and he's like, "Let's do it."
He'd be like, thanks.
You know
and
how
then just
mad Fox would be if Hugh Jackman stepped back in?
I would love. It'd be really interesting to see Hugh Jackman as a different character. I want him to be.
I want him to
I would
be
Professor X. Hugh
Yes.
Jackman should be Xavier. It would be stupid, but I think
Be funny
I
if
think
he
he
did.
could do it.
Let's
and I
have
think it'd be great.
Let's have McAvoy as.
I would. I
Oh
would
my
love.
gosh.
What are they gonna do with Deadpool? Are they gonna integrate it or?
Fucking, I don't know.
No.
I feel like they're just gonna be like,
They'd probably
They
continue just
can't.
doing Deadpool the way he is, making references to everything.
In my opinion, what I would
Is
love.
that
for
why
them
they
to
were
do-
able to kind of put them in the second movie?
Yeah. What I would love them to do, because Deadpool is one of those things where it'll never get old because it's never serious.
Mhm.
They could probably do it forever, and so they might not be as good, but I'd still go see them because it's a good contrast from what they're doing with the normal superhero
Yeah.
movies. And they easily could incorporate Deadpool with him just going, well, new universe, hi Disney, and that would be it. That would,
Hey, no,
they could explain
he-
everything
he
just
walks
like
out-
that.
he
He's
walks
like,
out
with the
Mickey
Mickey
Mouse.
Mouse ears? Yes, I want that so bad now.
Like he walks out of an explosion with like broken Mickey Mouse ears. Hey guys, new movie, new place, and
It's like
everything.
Eventually, he's gonna find someone to
What if the
replace him,
place
and
that-
he's gonna be the next Doctor Who.
What if the place that blew up was Fox Studios?
Oh my gosh, that'd be great.
Hey guys,
It's like the only thing funny out of any of the Teen Titans Go trailers, the only funny thing out about any of it, I'm so sick of their stupid fart jokes.
Mm.
But the only thing funny about the Teen Titans trailer is they see Slade. And they're like, are you Deadpool? He's like, what? No, and he walks up to his, he's like, say something inappropriate, and he points to the camera. I laughed at that, and that was it.
Are you still
I
gonna go
saw the
see
Teen
it?
Of course I'm
Titans-
gonna go see it.
I saw the
Just so I
Teen
can
Titans
complain
Go
about
trailer.
Well, no,
I don't like
because,
complaining
you know-
about movies I haven't seen.
I'm gonna
Well,
see
they're
Titans.
trying to because
I'm not gonna see Teen Titans
they're
Go
trying to
movie.
get a really good turnout for the Teen Titans Go because it's like if there's a good turnout, there's a possibility of bringing back the original.
The problem with Teen Titans Go is that it's such lowbrow humor because it's for a younger
Mm-hmm.
audience. And and that's probably what the Teen Titans should be for.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just used to the original Teen
But our
Titans.
generation's also really used to darker
Never watched Teen
cartoons.
Titans.
Like-
Batman.
Batman,
That's true.
Beyond.
Batman Beyond
Batman
was
Beyond
pretty
was dark,
daggum
too.
dark.
A person posted a Facebook post about the tunes.
Samurai Jack. Sorry.
Oh, but
yeah.
it's like there was like a Looney Tunes cartoon where they were all descendants of the original Looney Tunes characters set in a dystopian future where they were all superheroes.
Not seen
And I
that.
had forgot that this existed, and then I saw the picture and I was like, oh my god, I remember that show, and it was dark. And everything. We're just really, our generation's so used to well-drawn, very dark, with like that dry humor, which I think is what made our generation the way they are. And this new generation
That's
is a
very
very
true.
obvious humor.
Yeah.
With a very bright, quirky thing, even if it does have some subtly darker stuff, because I know Steven Universe goes very
I was gonna
dark.
say Steven Universe is
Gravity
the perfect
Falls
in
goes
between for
very
both
dark.
generations.
Yeah, but Steven Universe isn't dark for the sake of being dark. Like
Yeah,
the stuff we're
it's
used
just
to.
part
It is-
of the-
It hits actual emotions really
Yeah.
hard. But I would like to point out.
That was Pearl.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That was
It was
the.
called Lunatics Unleashed.
I've never seen that. I like to point out that we were supposed to talk about 2 other movies, and we're like an hour in at this point.
I kind of remember that.
What else were we going to talk about?
I remember Daffy being the
Real
weird
quick.
speed thing or whatever.
Yeah.
You watched The Purge?
Not
Just
Daffy,
me?
but-
Just me?
you.
Okay.
I didn't have
The new Purge movie. If you like the other Purge movies, not Purge 2, then you'll love this movie. What this movie does, it basically it's not really about something new like the other ones were. Like each one hit like a different thing. Even though the Purge 2 was more just like a cash grab from what people have said. I haven't watched it. It's basically the origins of it, and it's really interesting because one of the main characters because basically the government's like, let's make a purge. And it'll release everyone's anger. They got a psychologist and everything. And it's really about it. Literally, they straight up, like everyone before, in real life, people were like, you need to take the social commentary out of the Purge. And people just say...
But the Purge is social commentary.
Yeah, that's exactly. People are like, they're just saying that the government want to kill poor people so they don't have to take care of them. And then in the new Purge, the government straight up says that almost word for word. And so, like, now people can't complain. They're like, yes, it's what it's about. Deal with it. And it's interesting because the main guy, because no one purges really. They have to pay people to go kill people, and it still doesn't work. So they hire mercenaries to pretend to be KKK members. Which, fun fact, because there was already a new political party in the Purge movies called the New Founding Fathers of America. But
that sounds very white supremacist.
But they really spun it to look like Trump's campaign in the new movie.
I was about to say,
it was very much Make America Great Again.
Yeah, even just hearing that, I'm like that sounds very white supremacist.
And,
like that.
Which could be their motivation. They never really tell you that.
Patriotism.
But basically they hire mercenaries to kill poor people to make the Purge, and that's why, because you're like, if crime is legal, because I never thought about
why
it before.
do they wear the mask?
Why do they wear the mask? It never occurred to me
I thought it was for aesthetic.
I mean, yeah, interesting fact, because they wear the mask with the glowing eyes.
Yeah.
In the new movie, they're recording everything that's happening. If you sign up, they pay you $5,000 to record what you did during the Purge, and they give you recording contacts, and they glow. So they set up their own aesthetic, which is it's a really just cool, interesting thing.
Because isn't it?
But it was really interesting because it never occurred to me, why did they wear masks in the original Purge movies if crime is legal? It never occurred to me. But they legitimately asked that in the new movie, and it's because it's the hired mercenaries killing people, so they don't want to see that it's not people that actually live there. And it's the hired mercenaries by the government that kill people to make it look like people are actually purging.
Yeah.
Because before that, people were just getting high at parties and having sex. That was the only thing they were doing. They were having adult block parties. That's the only thing people were doing. No one was killing anyone.
Because everyone's even talked about that. It's like, why is the first thing everyone's going to killing people? It's like, if crime is legal, it's like, I'm getting a car.
That's the only thing they did.
I'm downloading every single movie.
Before they hired the mercenaries, you had shopkeepers with a shotgun, and they'd come in groups, and the shopkeeper couldn't do anything. He just walked out of the way. So no one was killing anyone except for the people that they paid that were just psychotic. And even that, people didn't kill anyone, they just ran. Because they mentioned at the beginning of the movie, there's like a drug lord, and he's like, people don't kill people. It takes a really damaged person to just kill someone. And it takes a really, really damaged person to kill someone for no reason.
Because
it's interesting because he's the leader of the drug cartel. He ends up being the good guy of the movie. They make the leader of a drug cartel the good guys against the government. That's got to be one of the biggest, most obvious political statements I've ever seen. And it was interesting because the first 2/3 of the movie were mostly just story and social commentary, which is weird for a Purge movie because they're pretty big on the gratuitous violence.
Yeah.
And instead of it being, and then the third half of the movie happened, and it wasn't gratuitous violence. It was just badass action sequence. I was just so happy. I came out of there satisfied. It was great. Maybe not the best in the world, but I'm not expecting the best in the world. I'm not expecting realism. I'm just expecting fun. And dang it, I got it.
Well, it almost makes me wonder because people go in, who are expecting the gratuitous violence, who are expecting just seeing the murder of this.
Purge 3, you get it. It's great.
I almost feel they're wanting to pull in a certain niche group of people. And then be like, here, watch this and learn something.
Maybe, because they do hit it pretty hard and pretty good in my opinion. In my opinion, they hit the social commentary pretty well.
I feel like most people that watch these movies, not all but most, are probably just too oblivious to even catch even the most obvious.
That's why.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why every
gets rid
single
of the subtlety. So
yes and no.
Oh.
No, this is the fourth one.
Oh, is it the fourth
Yeah,
one?
the fourth
okay.
one.
My bad.
Which one's the one that's got the Statue of Liberty mask with the glowing
That's
X's?
election year.
Election year. Election
Okay.
year. Election year is just fantastic. It's actually it's better than this new one. It's
Erection
fantastic.
year.
Because I love that mask. That mask is so cool looking.
Election year is very, very good because it's
where
really
they're
interesting.
protecting the lady who
Because
wants to get rid of the
because
purge?
politicians
Right.
Mhm.
politicians aren't allowed to be killed during the
Of course
purge
they're not.
until election year because they want to get rid of that main politician. And
Oh.
it's so good.
So you really do see kind of the government.
Oh, you see, yeah, these movies are just so much about corruption, government corruption, and just it's great. I love it. But they still hit that political, they still hit that gratuitous violence because in the election year you had this because they'll put in characters that are not important to the story. They don't move the plot along, which in one hand I don't like, but on the other hand they set them up just so they can have a really fun scene, and I'm okay with that because in election year this is one girl you just really hate, and you from the moment it goes in, you know she's gonna come in and she's gonna cause havoc and whatnot, and she finally shows up. She's got a shotgun. She's ready to kill everyone. She's like, "I want to kill you, you son of," and then she gets hit by a bus. And I'm like, yes, I'm so happy right now.
It's like Final Destination level.
And then in the new one, they have these three characters called the Three Wise Men, and they don't move the plot along any. They don't really contribute anything, but they're just really fun, funny characters that are really good at shooting people, and it's just fun to watch. It's just a good time. Like you just take a break from the social commentators. Like let's have fun killing people, and that's why I like these movies. Maybe they're not the best movies, but they're just really.
But it's
they're
still
really
just
fun.
something enjoyable to watch.
They're really fun, and they still like have the message.
Well, and
It's
I mean,
everything
there's
want
some
out of a
movies
movie.
that are just made to be like that. It's like there's some movies that you go into, you're not expecting like some masterpiece or anything like that. You're just going into it for fun. I finally saw Tag, and that's
did
one
you?
of those
That's
movies.
something
I
I
wanted to see.
That's what Blumhouse does, though.
Yeah.
They make fun or good movies, and they fund them with just garbage.
Yeah.
I'm just so lucky that everyone comes out to see garbage. That way they can make my good movies. So I guess I'm happy.
He really sounded like what's his name?
I don't know.
The guy from the IT crowd, not Richard Ione.
Chris O'Dowd,
Yeah.
who was in
Just wanted
Thor
to see
2
garbage.
Dark
Oh,
World.
that's right. He wasn't he?
I don't
Because
know.
I screamed in the theater because Chris O'Dowd was on the
I'm gonna
big
get my
screen.
arm cut off and it's gonna start moving by itself.
You know when I screamed in a theater during Solo, when they made sure he shot first.
I know, right? I did too.
I literally was like, "Ah, I'm shot first!"
I did too, actually.
I don't talk in theater.
Oh, well,
nice
you're a
and
douche. How the times have changed.
How dare
you're a
you
fucking
not,
asshole if you don't talk in a theater.
how dare you not react loudly with other
Anyways,
people around you?
that's
How are those people gonna know how you feel about that movie?
That's about all I have to say about
Jurassic
Purge.
World PTSD.
Remember when the
flashback.
Power Ranger trailer came up? And I was like, "Oh, this looks
Oh.
like Power Rangers."
Speaking
And then the thing
of that,
came up, and I went, "Woo, Power Rangers!"
That was me.
Speaking-
Okay.
speaking of that, they have talked with whoever made that.
I like the
and
most excited I
everything.
ever saw John.
He said he is working on a second
Yeah,
one,
Really?
so
I
we
heard
may
there was
actually be
about
getting a second
sequels.
Power Rangers.
I know it didn't do well, but I feel like a lot of that has to
Make
do
Tommy a girl. Make Tommy a girl.
That would
Make
be
Tommy
fun
a
with
girl.
that.
Yeah, that seems interesting idea.
Give me that tomboy.
Dude, that's so weird. Yes, that's
The
Then-
problem-
then make
interesting
her in
idea.
love with that Yellow Ranger.
The problem with
That would
Power
be
Rangers, I know
interesting
so
angle,
many
yeah.
people that wanted to see that movie but didn't because Beauty and the Beast was still showing. I feel like that movie suffered just because
I
Beauty and
gotcha.
the Beast did too.
I gotcha. Because I didn't go see either in theaters. Yeet.
I still haven't seen Beauty and the Beast.
I went and saw
It's
Power Rangers. It was the
It's
best
good.
day of my life.
I finally watched it because it was on Amazon Prime, and I was like, you know what? Everyone around me has told me to watch this movie,
it's
and they know how much I
fantastic.
love it. Oh my god, it was so good.
So much character development.
It was
Right?
It's so great.
I hate that the movie
good.
started off on such a lowbrow joke. That's what got me.
I
Yeah,
don't even remember
I
the
feel like that undermines the whole
Stealing the
movie.
pig?
No,
The penis
cow.
joke.
The penis joke with the cow at the very beginning.
I milked him before we brought him in here.
Yeah.
It's a guy cow.
Started with the 21 Pilots
Although,
song,
to be
though.
fair, I think the purpose of that was to point out how
infantile he was.
below his pay grade the main character was hanging out. Like the friends he was hanging out with
Yeah, that's a
garbage.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was to show that he really shouldn't have been there with them. He was
Yeah.
better than that.
But they did
Well, he
such a
wasn't gonna
good
be the Red Power
job.
Ranger for a long time, anyways.
We really need to talk about Fahrenheit 451. That's probably where the bulk of this was supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
All
We'll
right,
edit it in
let's do
12
it.
years.
I'm
It's
ready.
okay. All
I've been
right.
ready
I
all
mean,
week.
talk about it.
So
Dude is
I want to
turning
let
in
you
his
talk about the
grave
movie,
right now,
and then
waiting
I'll let
for
you
this.
finish, and I'll
okay.
jump in there with what I think.
Have you watched the movie?
I've seen the first 30 minutes.
Okay, that's
Oh, really?
I've probably seen
Yeah.
about the first.
So
45
you've read
or
the
so.
book, and we've watched the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
See, I want to know your opinion after you've seen the whole movie, because I get why you're saying what you're saying when you were saying it about it earlier, but I feel like
I didn't have time to finish it, but I went on Wikipedia and read the plot synopsis, so I have kind of a vague idea of
we should
How
just
doing
pause
it
this,
will
go
happen.
watch
Look
the
if you
movie,
like
and then
it.
come back.
and
We'll talk about it later when we watch the whole movie. But anyways,
I'll talk about it. And then
I
I'll
didn't
go
really have much
finish
to
it.
say about it, honestly.
Well, I mean, if we've gone too long, you could just wait for him to actually watch it.
From what I've seen and what I've read about how the movie goes, it's just so different from what the book does. And reading articles about the director talking about the movie, he seems so out of touch with what the book's
in my
about.
opinion, it was definitely different. But you
what the
really,
book's about, or
you
what
really
the
need
guy
to-
thought the book
you
was
really
about.
need to
the
see
theme,
it
what
because
the
I would
guy
say-
thought the book was about.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't know, but my opinion,
Brad's
it's still
even
it's-
mentioned
it's-
a lot of times. Sorry,
Oh, you're
it's
fine,
just
go
you've mentioned like a lot of times that the theme that people take away from this book a lot of times
Different
is a
guy
different
intended.
theme than
What
what
the author
Ray
intended.
Bradbury.
But that's the
truly
thing, is that it brings
intended.
up a bunch of different things. So it makes sense that people take away different things from it, but the other themes are still there as well.
This one,
And-
this was a more, I want to say, a more visceral look into it. Like
And
you really got into it. You didn't just see like, oh, they're burning books. You saw the consequences of what they were doing and how it affected the individual
But I
person.
mean, the book
And-
does
and you
that
don't-
too.
but
not nearly
you-
to this scale,
the
though.
thing
It really
is-
does, though.
I don't think it does.
I just finished the book.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, we'll talk. Keep
I see
talking.
your point. Well, my point is like you see it from his point of view a lot, but the movie you get the other people's point of view much, much more. Like you see what the common person feels about it a lot more than you did.
Which that was what they did in the book with his wife. That was
That's
the whole point of
true.
his wife's character.
Yeah, but his wife was the complacent one. You didn't really see the rebellion until the end of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But one thing I think a lot of people need to remember is with a book,
There's some stuff that just doesn't translate.
yeah, when Bradbury wrote this book, it was written to be that was terrible. When
I choked halfway through.
but when he wrote it, it was a future dystopian story. However, like with most older books that have been written for the future, we're living in that time period that this book is supposed to be about. And of course, it doesn't correlate anymore because you can try your best to picture what our future is going to be like, but I don't think anyone imagined how quick our technological boom was.
But I do get his point as well that the
I
themes
kind of
No,
disagree
but-
with that a little bit.
Well, I see
But
what you're saying. That the
what
theme's
I'm-
still held regardless.
Where I'm going
Yeah.
with it is the book still holds its own. You can read that book, you can cross-analyze that book, and you can draw those parallels to today and what that book's saying.
Mhm.
However, with a movie, and especially a majority of the audience with a movie, there's going to be a disconnect. Because it's like, okay, well, I see where this is going, but this isn't our future. This isn't how things are. This is lame. So what they have to do is he has to find a way to make it no longer a present time thing, but to make it a future for us to have that same relevancy that the people when they originally read the book felt when they were looking
I
into
also
the
feel
future,
like
saying
a
it's
lot
strong
of the
like that.
change.
Yes.
I also feel like a lot of the change though is that you couldn't tell the slow burn story that was the book in an hour and a half. Like
yeah,
they had
that
to.
too.
I still wish it would have been a
but-
series.
Had it been a
I've been
series
mentally
like
affected.
like everyone else thought it was for whatever reason because we're all idiots. Had it been a series, I feel like they could have they probably wouldn't have from what you said.
Mhm.
I feel like they probably could have done it like the book.
Yeah,
That is
because I really like the slow burn of the book.
you couldn't have done that with the movie.
And
The movie. Oh
Right?
yeah. To be
Read
fair,
Fahrenheit
to be
451. It's a slow burning
To
book.
be fair, the movie does do it pretty well. It just does things differently, and I think honestly, having watched it, but it's been a while since I've read the book. Having watched it, it is very different, and I do admit that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it still pushes a lot of the same main themes, while, yes, touching on completely different themes that weren't in the book.
From what I've seen, from what I've seen out of watching the movie so far, I like that they added to the whole TV thing the interactivity of it. I like seeing people liking it because they basically do that into a book, but here they take it into a more of a sort of social media, but not really social media.
Basically, what will become if we keep doing social media.
Well, and it's like that's what I'm getting at. They have to add stuff in like that.
Yeah, but the thing with the social media, I'm glad because I remember y'all talking about them implementing social media, and at first I hated that because I was thinking social media in the way we know it.
No.
And I feel like that takes away from the theme of the book because in the book, no one's connected with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point is everyone's so connected to their TV families that they don't even interact with other people.
But in the movie, that's exactly
And if they do interact, they're just watching TV together. So, but the fact that they just implemented the interactivity aspect for me felt like it was necessary.
I know you think the character's very different, but I think,
oh my gosh, yes.
I think the character in the movie represented what the average idiot American thinks a good citizen should be.
Yeah, but
I kind of feel like that's why they did it that way. Like if
they had to change it to maintain relevancy.
I just hate so much how they went about it because I feel like they only did it to fit Michael B. Jordan's general attitude, and it just did not work.
What I got from it was that he was the perfect soldier. He is what the government wants. He is everything the government wants and expects from a brainwashed soldier.
Which is what Guy was.
He was
for
just
a good bit in the
But we weren't as warmongering.
Not as bad as that though. See, in the movie, it's just he's much more bombastic and out there.
You have to remember he is a government agent, so you have to think how the government has changed since then.
Yeah, but he's just so. His character's so much more
bombastic.
Angry?
Not angry, but aggressive.
Aggressive, yeah.
But ambitious.
Than
Guy is in
that
the
probably
book.
ties more into because
I feel like
the firemen are basically police. They are the police state.
They're like military dictator kind of police.
Yeah, ties in with how today's time is with people in power as opposed to
another
back then
point
with people in power.
I wanted to make with the book is that I feel like with this movie they just wanted to cram so many relevant things that didn't necessarily work as well as they wanted to.
I see what you're saying, and I don't think it's that they didn't work. It's just like we said before, I don't think they had the time to hit all of those in that movie. I completely agree.
Yeah.
If it had been a series. Well, we just saw something pretty recently that was a movie that should have been a series, and it couldn't fit anything. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. But there's a lot of movies like that. If it was a TV movie, had it been a series, they would have had time to really hit all those, and I think it would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
At least
There's
to some
so much
degree.
irony
I'm still.
there.
I
know, right? There really is.
That's just the funniest shit about it.
I'm still forever so happy that they made this because, dear God, the 1970s movie
is the worst.
Is so bad.
At least with this movie, you can still come out with the idea of what the book was about.
Yeah.
But I'm still
all
in that
I remember
camp
from the original is
I
the
feel like I got more out of the book because I really
absolutely. I'm not arguing
because you're always gonna do that. Like for the most part, you're always gonna end up getting more
because I really connected with
Harry
Book
Potter
Guy much more than I did with Michael B. Jordan's
Usually you got
portrayal.
the same thing because she just wrote the script.
Having said that, Michael Shannon was fucking near perfect casting.
That man is
for
just
the
a great actor.
I think Michael B. Jordan's character in the movie was more accurate to what a brainwashed soldier trying to rebel.
Yeah, but that was the point in the book. They're not brainwashed.
Yeah,
and that's my biggest problem with this movie is that they go through the lengths of showing that they take the eye drops to stay.
But I feel like that's so much more relevant now.
Yeah, but that's
like
one of the things that separates
you ever seen that movie?
The book to me from every other dystopia is that in the book, society is made because society wanted it that way.
That's fair.
Here, they just do the whole society takes the drugs to stay in line with what the government wants.
I do have something to say to
and that's what
kind of rebuttal that, but Josh, go ahead.
Who's Michael Shannon?
Zod in Man of Steel.
Have you watched Shape of Water?
Have you seen Shape of Water?
He's Dirty Fingers guy.
Nice. Hold on. I'm
He's
sure.
dirty
I'm gonna-
fingers, guys.
Have you seen Kangaroo Jack?
But William, think
I
about it.
thought Zod was.
But think
What's
about
his
it. Does
face?
our society now do things because
Oh,
they think
Zod.
they should,
I
or
was
do
thinking
things
of
because people told them?
someone
Think
else.
about the whole anti-vax thing. They do it because people told them. I feel like that is more our society now than it was then.
Yeah, but again, that just. I feel like that just made everything about the world of Fahrenheit 451 that much more interesting. It was society became what society wanted, not what the government
I agree,
wanted.
but I honestly believe that the society now doesn't want anything.
Yeah,
They
it's like
become
it's one of those
what
things.
they should be.
It's like I 100% get what you're saying. It's like
Yeah,
they had to change.
I feel
that
like it's
theme.
relevancy versus good writing. Sometimes if you make something real, it doesn't necessarily the best writing.
It's like I think turning a book into a movie. There's a fine line
All in
between
all,
trying to stay with
you've
the
seen
book
Vanilla
and
Sky,
trying to stay.
He plays a character named Aaron.
Wow!
See, I don't know.
That totally helped me.
That's
the
That's
only movie.
amazing,
That's the
man.
only movie
I
I
know
know you've
exactly
seen,
who he
Josh.
is
Shut
now. He's Aaron from Vanilla Sky. Holy crap!
Man, he's
he's my favorite actor.
He plays Fred in Groundhog Day.
I don't know why. Oh.
Fucking goddamn it, John. I hate you so much.
I know exactly who he is.
Jesus, didn't see that coming. But anyways, I still think I agree. You're definitely gonna get more out of the book, but you should finish watching the movie. I genuinely do think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean,
Because do you know? Because
time.
the idea of using the genetic engineering and the internet to overcome the obstacle, I thought was really interesting.
I like that they implemented using the internet to spread books.
Yeah, that was really cool too.
See, that's the thing is I read about that using the internet, and then I read in the plot synopsis him using like DNA or something like that to transport books into people.
It's not quite that simple.
What
But
do they do to Kindles?
The whole point is that they
If you light
genetically
them on
engineer
fire,
the
they blow
books
up.
into the people.
Oh,
So
they,
once it's there,
Did they actually have that in the movie?
Everyone
they have
born
these
after that
huge
will have that, and there's
servers
no
that
way
are
they can stop the
automatically
burning of the
uploading
books.
thousands of books.
It's
See,
using
to me,
web.
It's using science to
Spread,
overcome the
and they just go
government's
with
military
axes,
authority, which I thought was interesting. And I do get how that's kind of lame and cop-outy,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's interesting. It's cool to watch because the whole, I think the point of that was supposed, and I get it. It is kind of like we hacked DNA to do it, but I think the point of that was having the intellectual people find a way to overcome the just military mindset of the army.
And I think it also just still plays
I know
into
how
trying
they
to make it a
hacked the DNA.
futuristic book.
Yeah.
Or a futuristic
I
storyline.
totally get
The
it.
time
book,
period where it's not a futuristic
I enjoyed
book.
it. It's a very intense movie.
It is.
In the book, how they go about doing that is because everyone only has short-term memory because they're being fed information.
They don't
every
even
so
do that.
often.
In the movie, they have people with photographic memories. There's like 2 or 3 people that just know everything.
That's what they do in the book, yeah.
They still have people that know individual things, but there's this one kid that just knows everything.
In the
It's
book,
like the
and he's kind of on the spectrum.
Gotcha. Because in the book, he just comes at the end. He comes across that hobo group.
Yeah,
And
he still does that.
They all picked one book to remember,
They have what's her face
based off a photographic
Who is she?
memory.
Who's the
what
rebel girl?
book would you try and remember?
Slaughterhouse 5.
Who's the rebel girl? She's someone. She's a.
She's Feet Girl from
Feet girl.
Kingsman.
I was gonna say Blade Legs. Blade Legs from
She's in that movie.
in Fahrenheit 451. She's the
I
main.
haven't finished it.
She's the main rebellion girl, the informant.
She.
Yes.
I know how they hacked the
love
DNA
her.
though. They used
They use
quantum
quantum
energy.
Just goes round and around, full circle.
But that's just what I like so much about the ending and why the book resonated so much with me. Because even though the book doesn't reflect a lot about today's society, there's still so many similarities
See,
that
that's
you can
the
still
main thing.
feel
It's
the
just
same.
with a movie,
Agreed.
you have to have the movie somehow reflect society.
See, I don't
to get that
necessarily
message
believe that,
across.
but
I
at
know.
the
I
same
think
time,
it does.
William likes the book better
It does
because
for
the
the general
book
public.
brainwashed him, and he doesn't want a movie version.
Books brainwash people. Don't
The
read
main
books.
thing, the movie is much less about the censorship of books and more about overcoming the authoritarian government that caused the censorship of books, which is a big jump, actually, now that I think about it, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it.
But when that book was written, there was a lot of censorship of books.
Yeah.
We don't have that
Now-
That is
anymore.
true,
We
actually.
have the
The
censorship
biggest-
from the government.
That is true.
yeah. But again, I I still feel like the book is still relevant enough where you didn't have to make those changes.
I agree, but I also think it wouldn't have made as good of a movie.
Yeah, with the book, keeping the book will remain relevant.
I want to make this fucking movie.
Do it.
But no, with the book being the way it is, it's still relevant because when you read it, what you're going to do is you're going to make connections from a book that was written in the past to what your present is. It's like, I see this theme and I see this trend here.
Yeah.
With a movie, you don't really cross-analyze movies half as much as you would a book.
So they have
to do that for you already, so that you already see those parallels in a movie.
But that's for the stupid people.
Yeah, but think about it.
That's what this movie would be for. It's the stupid people.
That is the biggest thing you have to remember. Is like, think about the audience that reads a book and the audience that reads an old classic book that high school made them read versus people that
Not
watch
to
a
mention,
movie.
think how great it's going to be, the kids who won't read Fahrenheit 51, which they should, because it's a good book. I know it sucks having to read it in school, but it's a good book. And their parents are going to let them watch that movie thinking, oh, it's going to be close enough. Oh, buddy bucko, no, it's not, and you just failed your paper.
I don't know.
That is
30 minutes in, I was still just like, I don't
all
really
in
like
all,
what's going on here.
in all, I can totally agree that the book's probably better, but from an outside point of view, that movie is still amazing at making the points that it does make.
Yeah.
I never had to read
And
that
it's
book
a very
We didn't either. We didn't have that class.
It's a very enjoyable movie. Like, it's intense, and I love it. It may not be the best movie ever, but it was a HBO direct-to-TV. But still, I thought it was really good.
Wait,
and
what
I really
movie?
liked it. Fahrenheit 41.
They redid Fahrenheit 451. They did a new movie.
What do you think we've been talking about for the past 30 minutes,
that.
Guy?
You said direct to HBO something.
Yeah, it's an HBO movie.
It was an HBO TV
It was never
movie.
in theaters or anything. It was just to HBO.
But remember HBO TV movie is basically the same budget as regular
I didn't know it wasn't in theaters.
No. Why did you say that so weird?
He's always said it like that.
Theaters?
Yeah.
Theaters.
Him and Maul both say it like that.
But he emphasized it so hard. Theaters.
He's always done that.
Because I love the theater.
The theater.
What do you say?
Theater?
Theater?
Yeah.
That's not how it's spelled.
Yeah,
Theater.
but it's less about how it's spelled and you putting the emphasis on the middle
You
syllable.
put more
That's how it's said by me, at least.
Oh, well. But you did it really hard that one time. And like normally...
I always say
All 4
theater.
original castmates have been confirmed.
I just was fucking talking about this an hour ago.
I know, it's okay. I was ignoring you watching memes on Facebook.
I have such mixed feelings about Woody Harrelson because he's really good in some movies and other movies I hate him so much.
You ever seen Kingpin?
No.
You'd hate it, but it's really good.
That was the stupidest thing.
What?
Have you ever seen Kingpin?
Kingpin? Yes, I love Kingpin.
I know you would.
It's
He
hilarious.
wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't follow your recommendations.
That's
of
like
movies.
Bill Murray at his
I
finest.
follow his recommendations on movies.
Yeah.
You have no. It depends on the movie because he's like, this is a really good
It's
movie.
fine.
It's like, is it a really good movie in like the
Movie
weird,
sense?
subtle?
No one likes
plot?
the movies I like.
Why are you
Boyhood sucks!
Josh hated Birdman. I love
The only
I
thing
liked
worse
Birdman.
than Boyhood is Birdman.
The only thing good about
Boyman.
Boyman! That's a movie I would watch!
The only thing
Birdman won the Academy Award for Best Motion
Does
Picture.
That's because people were
Wait.
like, oh, I get this movie. I totally know what
If
it means. even though
Boyman
it's
is a
nothing.
movie, does that
I
mean
gotta nominate
Birdhood
it.
is a movie too?
The best thing to come out of Birdman was when we were playing
Birdhood?
Birdman.
No, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
the best thing to come out of Birdman was when we had the Quiplash prompt. It's like, explain Birdman. And I put something serious, and Dakota just put old man jumps out of window.
Actually, the movie is
Who
called...
won the game with that, actually?
The movie's actually called Birdman, The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. So...
Whatever, he died halfway through, and he just...
They should have picked a way, okay?
The ambiguous
I thought he
ending.
was going to
If
say
it
a
helps,
whale,
It's
and
symbolic. If it helps him, I actually really enjoyed Birdman.
Good. I did too.
I finally saw Lady Bird.
The ending to that movie is as bad as the ending to Grease.
What's his face was really intense in that movie. I really liked it.
Edward Norton?
Edward Norton, yeah.
Edward,
I
that's
love
because
Edward
Edward Norton was playing Edward Norton.
Yeah, that's the scary part about it. He was just playing a jackass because he's kind of a jackass.
Lady Bird ended up
Which
being
is, I
a
respect
really
to
good
him
movie.
for acknowledging that and actually doing it in the movie. What now?
I finally watched Lady Bird
Lady Bird.
because I'd been wanting to watch it.
Emma Stone in that
It was
movie
really
is
good.
it was a big jump from what she normally does, and she did it really well.
So is Zach Galifianakis.
What about?
He was the He was in that movie.
I don't remember.
He was a person.
He was.
He did some stuff.
He was Aaron.
He was Michael Keaton's manager, I believe.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. I just kind of forgot that character existed.
That's like Slaughterhouse 5. My favorite book is Slaughterhouse
still
5.
haven't read
But I
that
know
book.
every other person that would read that book that I know would probably hate it.
I have it on my Kindle. I will read it just for you.
Read it. It's my favorite
Because
book.
you recommend.
I get so much out of it every time I read
You
it.
recommended it to me, so I downloaded it.
I don't even know what it is.
I was
That
able.
book continues to fuck me up every time I read it.
I was
Maybe I
able
won't
to
read
get
it.
my
I remember
hands
you talking about it.
on an advanced copy of Alice Isn't Dead by Joseph Fink, which is the guy who does Night Vale. He writes for Night Vale.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
Isn't Dead.
Cecil, but Joseph Fink. He wrote the Night Vale books.
I've listened to the first 5 or 6 episodes of it, and it's crazy.
This book. So I got my hands on the advanced copy. I got it back in June.
Copy me.
It's not out to be like. It's not.
Advanced.
sold
He
yet. I
works
just-
in the biz. Like,
In the
he did it too. Don't give me that
the
look.
non-theater.
He did the exact same wink to me, except he was doing it multiple times. But I can't wink that fast.
Well,
How do you do that?
I don't know.
What did you do?
they were
Like,
winking.
how's he doing that so
But
fast?
I got it during Pride Month, and so I was like, I was excited
Oh, I
to
didn't
read
think
it.
about that.
Yeah, and but I was like, I kind of want to read a Pride-based book, and then I read the back of it, and I was like, oh, it is a Pride
It's-
book
it's-
because it's a.
Yeah,
it's a
This is gonna sound like the worst humble brag ever, but things like that don't occur to me because it just doesn't matter to me.
well, it's just
Cause like I started listening to Alice Isn't Dead, and she had a girlfriend. I was like, it
Well,
never occurred to
it's-
me. Oh, this is a gay thing. I was like, no, she just has a
well.
girlfriend.
The thing is it's like you see so many books with so many het relationships in it, and narrowing that down to a gay relationship that isn't erotica
That's true.
is.
But my point is
a
like I
very
listened to that
small-
podcast, and until you said it just now, it never
It
actually
didn't
occurred to
click
me
to
that it would be a
But yeah, and so I was like, cool.
allowed?
because originally that was one of the only 2 ways you could write a lesbian couple. What she either had to die, and then after you were allowed to have them have sex, you were only allowed to have them have sex. That was the 2.
No, yeah, because that's where the dying lesbian trope came from. Was
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, because they had to have to be able to write a book where a woman loved a woman, it had to end with one of the women dying and the other woman ending up either
With a
alone
man.
or with a man. So people would write these beautiful woman-loving woman romance stories, deep and everything,
Kill them.
and they would just have to kill.
And the
one
way to
of
get
them.
around that is no one regulates erotica books because they're erotica books.
Yeah.
And so as long as there was a man in there somewhere, you could have a lesbian couple. As
so-
long as there was a man between them every once in a while. And so that's the
I have
only
books
that's
you
the,
should-
it's the
And so
2
that's-
main genres of
Me?
lesbian couples.
Yes, I don't know what they're called or who they're by anymore, but I'll find it eventually.
I have a bookcase full of books that I now own.
Gay
that I need
people
to read.
deserve
But I don't-
love and
I don't-
respect.
I love
I don't
love
know
that-
if there's
Speaking of
physical
erotica, I
copies
love
of
that
it.
Alicia has that book.
Wait, which one?
Is it the Highlander one?
No,
Because that was the worst thing I've ever read in my entire life.
There's a Highlander gay erotica?
That's what she posted.
Oh, that!
no, the one
I don't know what's going
It
on.
wasn't gay.
the one where it was
Picture is
it
the
was
best.
considered to be it's the
Is it the one where it's like the towel was wet and
Yes.
it fell to the
what was
floor?
it that
which
purpose
also
that
became
purposely bad Harry Potter fan fiction.
wet. My name is Ebony
Shades of
Darkness
Grey?
Dementia
Yeah, I like
Raven Way.
That honestly, people make fun of that so much, but that is a masterpiece for what
Well,
it is.
you know, recently that writer actually came out like, "Hey, I'm the one who wrote
yeah,
this."
because it was
and
intentionally
told, like,
bad.
her entire backstory.
And it's like because the way it's if you look at it knowing that it's intentionally
Mhm.
bad, you can see every type of bad fan fiction it makes fun of it. It's almost a masterpiece.
Because
in its own
apparently,
right.
It's
apparently
like-
she was going to be writing a book and releasing it about like her life, and I'm like, I am here for
yeah,
this.
it's so good. But anyways, this was the not intentionally bad erotica. Like he entered her like she was the lottery. Or my favorite when my favorite when she refers to boobs as love mounds, and when he orgasms, she says it was as if he had Dick Parkinson's.
Yeah. But
Wait,
Is that the one? Is that the book where she wrote it purposely bad? Or
No.
is it a
That
different
was
one?
the
no,
serious one.
that's a serious romance erotica.
But anyway,
No, that's like Cabin in the
we're solved.
Woods.
Cabin in the Woods, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Because I didn't care to see that movie until I read the whole Wikipedia page about it and realized how obviously
it's a serious satire.
Yes.
It's a satire, but also in its own right, it's
making fun of the horror movies, but it's putting a behind the scenes in a fake kind of serious way.
And somehow makes fun of all these bad movies, but in itself is a good movie.
Yeah.
But no.
As much as I don't like Joss Whedon every now and then, that is a good movie. Joss Whedon is good at his own little one-off universe.
We can give Drew Goddard more credit than Joss Whedon if we want to.
That's fair.
Huh?
But no, the thing Josh was talking about was I sent a picture to you guys in the Discord of like a page from like it's some sort of Highland romance thing.
It was so bad. I had to look up what it was.
Like, literally, there's only one
Highlander.
There's only one
with me.
What with the Power Highlander?
Yeah,
it's such a generic name.
There's only one with a
Highlander.
But it's worse than that because it's like you would expect like. You know, because there's one part where he's like, "Oh, not do that" or something like that.
Oh yeah, they put the text of
but
the
thing is they don't. The only two things he does is say "not" and "lass" or "lassie." That's the only dialect she writes. That was an erotica? Scottish, yeah.
It's like so much more sense. Because you posted that page and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Speaking of accents, okay, so H.P. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft was kind of prejudiced. Kind of very prejudiced. Especially
against
humans,
non-white people.
It wasn't even necessarily non-white people. If you were born in the U.S., he was kind of okay with it.
He had a black cat with a very bad name.
That's true, but. As far as other...
Was it?
Okay, this is going to sound bad, but as far as other writers in that area went, he wasn't as bad. But he really hated foreigners, and he really hated country people. And he has these things. He has this one where it's
about
like these
country people. Let's just clarify that.
He has this one story, and it's a really good story. I really love the twist at the end. But it's about country hillbillies, and they talk, and he spells out how they talk with the thick accent and the terrible grammar and vocabulary. And people are like, this is racist. I was like, no, this is accurate, son. Let me tell you, I live with this crap, and it is spot on.
He had like a vision and he saw those jacked up trucks and the truck nuts and he just knew.
It may seem stereotypical. He may be stereotyping because they talk bad and they're kind of incestuous and stupid. But let me tell you, this is one of them stereotypes based in truth. All right, we live here.
He done got that from the truth.
Am I talking to a computer?
Granted, he literally has one where like foreigners are coming in and causing the apocalypse. He was bad about that.
Yeah, it's like I've heard he's a pretty prejudiced, hateful dude.
He wasn't a great guy.
Yeah.
I started playing Oblivion again.
Few writers are, honestly. It's really weird.
True.
I started playing Oblivion again, and I decided to be a Red Guard. Because they have a proficiency.
You might be the first person in the history of the world.
Yeah, really.
Well, because they have a proficiency for every type of weapon, and I like variety. And so I was like, all right, I'll play as a Red Guard.
Variety. Let me be good at multiple things, so I suck at them all.
I forgot that the game
Jack of all trades, master of none.
And so I have a Red Guard character named Eben Chap. And he's in jail at the beginning, and the other prisoner calls from the thing, is like, I hope you like that cell, Red Guard. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this game's racist.
But he does that to everyone, though. He's like, you
whoa.
stupid brat, and I bet you sell your mother. Which is funny, because that's exactly what the breeding in Skyrim does say. But whatever.
It's like, whoa, take it easy, man.
I just got here.
Speaking of racist, me and Alicia were watching a video on YouTube about how, like, if there's ever a dialogue where it mentions your race, it's like, oh, you're a wood elf, that's cool, you probably do this and that, and like, which is stereotypical and bad, but you're an orc, oh, I bet you're good making weapons and whatnot, and like, it's stereotypical but bad, but oh geez, if you're ever a Khajiit, it's like you insulted their mother, saying, how dare you show up in my house, you fur-ridden piece of garbage, like, Jesus, all we did was get high on the garbage you sold us.
I'm playing Dragon Age as an elf mage, and apparently the two things that almost everyone hates in Dragon Age is elves and mages.
It's a fun fact in Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid elf.
No, they call them like knife ears.
And in Skyrim you have multiple elves, but the orcs and the dwarves are actually just different types of elves.
Technically, yeah.
Well, it's like because I
Pretty much everything
finally
but
because
Humans, Red Guards, Bretons, Khajiits, Argonians.
which are all different types of humans.
Nords.
Red Guards, Bretons, and Red Guards, Bretons, and
Nords.
Nords and Imperials. They're all humans.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
But
like
it's
an
just-
elf.
it's really
interesting to have a
amusing.
game that has different types. of
because
humans,
I've just
honestly.
kind of been running around and people will say stuff and they're like, oh, I should, or I said that, and it's like my character will go, it's better than being called knife ear or something like that. Well, I finally ended up in a land that is just elves, and they're all like, oh, hello there. And I'm like,
I wonder if you
oh
could
my
play.
god, everyone's
can
so
you play
polite.
Can you
They'd be
play-
like, get out of here,
Can you
knife
play-
ear.
Wait, can you play as a half elf? Because that's what it's like being a half elf. No matter where you are,
It's
everyone
all
hates you.
Unless
But
it's
yeah.
another race, it's just like that.
Like half orcs.
That's just like
Yeah,
me.
well.
Am I a half elf?
or halflings.
No, people
halflings
just hate
love
you.
everyone.
I guess being a ginger is close enough. Everyone just hates you.
Well, I mean,
It's not our fault you don't have a soul.
he beat me to it. I'm too slow.
I got nothing to bargain
I'm too
with.
drunk on the alky house.
It's okay, I sold.
All right, we need to wrap this up. We're talking about nothing now.
Two nickels.
Story of
It's
the
fine.
that face.
story of the moral.
Story of the
I messed up and I
moral.
went with it.
Sometimes your chickens hatch before they can release the beef.
I thought you. Okay, you messed up. You should have said sometimes the chicken hatch before you count the eggs. That's where you should have
That's what I should have gone.
Before you count the eggs in one
Before
basket.
you release the
Don't count all your
Sometimes the
baskets
chickens
in one
hatch
egg.
before you count the eggs in the basket as they cross the road.
Last night, I
but
was
seriously.
talking to one of my coworkers about writing a self-help book, and they went from
They're laughing at me, giving you the look annoyed that I was trying to wrap this up and you just
It's
kept on talking.
okay.
the tips went from make sure you drink plenty of water to God can't save you.
It's not wrong. But, okay, moral of the story. First movie we talked about, Antman and the Wasp. Pretty good. Maybe not the best Marvel movie, but people seem to enjoy
But
it.
it's-
Definitely
it's-
not the worst Marvel movie.
No.
It's
it's
fun.
great. I loved it.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's the
it's
thing.
an Ant-Man movie.
People need to
It's-
I love
separate.
Ant-Man.
People
I feel
need
it
to
held up to the first one, and
I felt so good because I've been so into Ant-Man for so many years,
Mhm.
and going
I know,
to
I can't believe they actually managed to make that movie.
yeah, and going into Ant-Man and the Wasp and seeing how packed the theater was and how great of a time everyone was having just made me feel really
People
good.
need
I
to
was just
people
like,
need to
I was
understand
so
that there's a
sad.
difference between a good movie and a fun movie.
Mhm.
Because like how I say, I'll mock a movie all day and go, I really had fun watching it. Like, there's the difference. Just it doesn't
I
have
have
to
the
be-
perfect example.
Yes.
Aliens versus Predators. Great movie.
No, it's just garbage.
Alien vs. Predators 2. Fun movie.
Not a good movie. I thought
It is literally just a continuation for blowing stuff up.
for what it was, Alien vs. Predator, at least it made sense. You know, it wasn't the
I
worst
thought it
movie
was
ever.
great.
It probably was better than Predators 2.
Yeah.
I've never seen Predators too. So.
Well, there you go. But
Making
Ant-Man
another
and the
one now.
Wasp, not
Mhm.
maybe not the best Marvel movie, but enjoyable apparently. The Purge, I enjoyed it a lot. You'll like it if you like the Purge movies. If you don't know anything about the Purge movies, I would suggest watching the first or the third first.
Doesn't that one take place first?
The fourth one takes place first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's kind of like
Watch them all.
the-
Don't be a
the
weakling.
first Purge is kind of like Cube Zero. It might be a prequel, but you will enjoy it more if you watch the ones
those
before.
movies in so
It's a
long.
prequel that only has merit if you already know what's going to happen after.
You have to watch it like a prequel,
election-
meaning watching it after the
And
others.
Election year, honestly, in my opinion, had the best of everything. It had the social commentary. It had the corrupt government. It had really fun, gratuitous violence in it. It was everything you wanted. The first movie was a more contained story because the first movie is about one family.
Yeah.
Where the election year was about multiple things happening at the same time, and you're seeing the ramifications and how this affects everyone regardless of social status. Although the first movie is very good. There's this one scene at the end where like basically the family's coming in to kill the other family because they're rich and they're not. Oh, and the mother's like, I'm not killing anyone. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna like it. She has like a gun to her head, and the other girl starts to argue, and the mom just grabs her head, slams her face in the table, and her nose breaks. It's one of the most satisfying moments in any movie I've ever seen, because you see the pacifist character finally just like, fuck it, I'm gonna break someone's nose. But the new Purge movie is good, but if you haven't seen another Purge movie, I would watch 1 or 3 first, maybe 3 if you want more.
Watch them all. Be a true fan.
2 kind of sucks.
Watch them
I
all
haven't
and be
seen-
a true
I haven't
fan.
seen 2, but 2, from what I'm told, 2 was more of a cash grab kind of doesn't really make sense kind of
It's
thing.
usually how second movies are.
Yeah, but then they realized what they had and they did something with it. Blumhouse is kind of iffy. You never know what kind of movie they're going to make because it's like if they need the money, they'll make a quick and easy movie so they can fund the next one. So I'm fine with it. The election year was great. And then the third movie we talked about, Fahrenheit 451, as usual, the book was better, but I think the movie was great and much more intense.
You are having to read that book for school, get the book and read it.
Do not. It's not even that big of a book.
It's really not. Just read the book.
Bitter about change.
It's
Williams hipster
I understand
showing.
all the changes.
No, I'd say the best comparison I can make with where I'm coming from is say I'm an old man in my soul.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is I'm an old man. I go to the park every day and sit on this specific bench. This bench is a good bench because it's right at this place where it's right under a tree. There's shade. It's perfect.
And the next thing you know, the bench is Michael B. Jordan.
No, the
and
next
he's
thing you
wondering
know,
why you're
I'm
sitting
coming
on
back
him.
to my park and they've taken my bench away and they're building a skate park. So now my bench is gone. All the young hoodlums are coming in.
Extreme. Like,
but you're now able to make a sweet ollie.
The difference between the book and the movie, I feel, is like they just added a cup holder to your bench.
and you're
just like, I don't want this cup holder. I ain't drinking on this bench. But I do agree. The book, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get a deeper.
They added a cup holder and they added a little bit more to the bench so other people sit there.
At the bench with me. Yeah, they extended the bench so people could share the bench with me, and I'm happy.
Maybe put an advertisement on the back.
A picture of Alexander Shannara.
Yeah. And now everyone's sitting at the part of the bench that I like to sit at, and I have to sit over here on the side that's in the sun.
And Michael B. Jordan is
standing there screaming at me.
The basketball player?
I made that same exact joke in the Black Panther podcast. High five.
It wasn't funny then either.
It's still funny.
But anyways, you're going to get a more deep, significant meaning from the book. I will agree. But you're going to get a more modern more modern and intense take from the movie.
I'm the old man waving the book around saying, these young hoodlums to get more out of them, they just sit down and read a book.
What are you saying?
I mean, this is one of those few instances where
maybe if they read it, they'd understand what he's saying.
This is one of those few instances where the book is...
the point of the book going to see the movie on the TV.
Better.
Well, the irony is going to see a movie instead of reading the book is almost a thing in the
but
book.
this is one of those instances where the book is better, but the movie does bring up
relevant.
different things. Yeah. Yes, Josh.
Look,
I love how he raises his hand.
It's when it's something not important, and I'm waiting for y'all to finish the thoughts.
We need a talking stick.
It's hard with 4 people, and we all have our own dynamic that we've eventually gotten into, just like me, Josh, and
we just need
Jacob
the talking glasses.
The more people that's in the room, the worse we get.
I'm trying not to interrupt the podcast, especially this is something very stupid. It's because you said the gratuitous violence on the Purge or whatever, and it made me think. On Netflix, it's either Netflix or Hulu, it shows you the rating and why it's rated that. And the other day I watched Mortal Kombat, and it's rated PG-13 for non-stop martial arts action and some violence.
Does it not count as violence if it's martial art actions?
Apparently not.
You know the people that make those ratings.
A whole lot of violence in that movie.
The funny thing is non-stop martial arts action,
but only some violence. Well, you have to remember the people that make those ratings.
When you play the video game, they're just really far away doing the moves while you try and figure out.
Trying to do the combos. But the thing is, the people that make those ratings literally are just moms that get paid. It's very strange.
Although a guy explodes and it's some violence.
Well, hey,
I've never had more fun watching a movie than I have watching the Mortal Kombat.
You ragged it so hard.
I ragged it so hard. I happened to be drunk while I watched it, and I was like, I'm having the most fun I've ever had in my entire life.
I totally get why they did it that way, but why does punching a CGI reptile into a corpse make a ninja?
Because they're in the underworld. Oh, also,
yes,
quantum energy, of course.
I love that they didn't have the budget to CGI reptile all the time, so they made it where he could go invisible, so they didn't have to pay for it.
And it still looked like garbage.
Did I tell you that Raiden paid for that movie?
Yes,
the second one.
No, the first one.
I read an article.
Oh yeah, he wasn't in the second one.
I read an article that talked about everything he did to make that movie. Yeah.
His rendition of Raiden is nothing like the games, and I love it.
I know. He's a god. He comes in and does his whole thing.
He's a god, but he's a god that's been humanized, and it's beautiful.
Which makes sense for that.
We should honestly have a mini podcast, just us talking about Mortal Kombat, but we can't talk about it right now. We're about to run over time.
See, Mortal Kombat starts with a very dramatic slow motion scene of a child getting slapped in the face. And it's the best thing ever.
No, wait, not going to slap the face again. It goes, pop, pop, pop. I get that his name is Lou, but you can't scream just Lou with any dramatic effect. It just comes out like you're halfway through a word.
Why is everything green in his apartment? He wakes up, green.
Envy, because he actually went to Mortal Kombat. Green is the color of envy. I read The Great Gatsby.
I didn't.
Green. The green light! The green light!
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Green is not.
One of my
very
neighbors has a
creative.
green light on their doorstop, and every time I see it, I think of Great Gatsby.
That's funny.
All right.
You live near
This was
Leonardo
Nerdly Kingdom. Come back
DiCaprio.
next time
This
for
is Nerdly-
non-stop martial action.
This is Nerdly Kingdom.
Martial action.
If you want to contact us, you can contact us at nerdlykingdom@gmail.com. You can contact us on Twitter at the_nerddom. You can contact us on Facebook or Instagram. I think we're The Nerdly Kingdom. Is that what it is? Is it The Nerdly Kingdom on both of them? We also do streams every now and then at Arcade Mode Games on Twitch. And we also have a podcast that we keep trying to do, but things just keep coming up every single time for a podcast about games called Nerdly Kingdom Arcade Mode. So we have a few. What now?
You stole my thing.
I just wanted to try. I honestly just wanted to see if I could do it.
Oh my god.
And I think I did it okay. It wasn't as good as you.
Oh,
but I
you
did it.
usually do the
Yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to try it to see if I could remember even in my 4-shot intoxicated state, but I think I did okay. It wasn't as good as Lori's, but I tried.
It already sucks.
I wanted to see if and honestly, we really want to
Doyle rules.
We're gonna try to really push the streams more now that I'm after the whole thing. I've been gone forever. We're really gonna try to push it. I talk with my hands. Stop mocking me. But it's gonna be fun. If you want us to talk about a certain movie, contact us. We will probably, even if it's an old movie, we'll be glad to do it. If you tell us to do it, we will do it. We want us to play a game on our streams. Tell us to do it.
Robin Williams. I want to
I
watch
would
it.
love to do Popeye so much. Yes, Lori.
We're also going to try and get a bit better about letting you guys know what we're gonna be doing a podcast on, so that weeks in advance we want to let you guys know what we're going to be talking about. We'll post about it on our social media, which is why we want you guys to follow. We're going to try and be a bit more involved. That way you guys will have time to actually reply to us. Give me 1 second.
To be fair, this podcast was planned like 2 days ago. We didn't know what we were talking
about. And so we're really going to try to do that so that y'all's responses can be a part of this without us having to wait.
I like that. Yes, William, you can first.
You can contact me by visiting my local theater on the weekend. A movie adaptation of a book comes out. Walking around outside waving a book around going, I'm gonna go better read
The end is nigh. Yes, Josh.
I forgot. Oh, I wanted to. Well, actually, it's not even important for the podcast.
Okay.
I have a 3, you got a 5, I go first.
Lord,
I have a
big numbers win.
I have a shameless self plug. It has nothing to do with any of this.
I'm down with that.
I bought a scale again because my other one broke because it was old.
A what?
I'm gonna be going back to the
Dragon
gym.
scale?
Yes,
That's what I was
a
about to
dragon
ask.
scale.
Oh, like a
A dragon
scale.
I'm going to Dragonland. I'm gonna be trying to go on a weight loss journey again. You guys can follow it on my personal Instagram. It's the Lori
How do
Artie.
you get there on the way?
Journey.
It's I'm pretty sure that my my Instagram is Lori Artie _ because someone already has regular Lori
I
Artie.
gained 4 pounds on our trip to Nashville.
You can also follow the hashtag
Ow.
Lori Artie loses it, which is my weight loss hashtag. So if you want to join me
I
on
take
that
like
journey,
30,000
go
steps
for
every
it.
day.
That's good. I feel like there's something else I was gonna say.
It is Lori Artie _
It
Lori
is.
Artie _HII.
No, that's my Twitter.
Oh, is that on your
Yeah.
Instagram too? That's just
I don't do
Yeah,
anything
there's someone who
like
has
that.
the Lori Artie Twitter and someone who has the Lori Artie Instagram, which is why I need to get verified on both so that I can get those.
As long as they haven't logged in for a month. Were you gonna say something, William?
No.
Okay, so question of the day, William, go.
Jesus.
Question of the week. Sorry, I did that.
I'm
every time.
not ready.
I got it.
That's
Who's
the
the
point.
better cat, Obsidian Von Grimm or Kurt the stupid
Dude,
cat?
you guys post stuff to our Instagram, and we'll have a poll on Twitter.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Who's the better
Without
cat?
a doubt.
What's your cat?
Get out of my house.
Who's a better cat,
Obsidian.
Obsidian Von Grimm or Kurt Tiberius Cobain Bell?
I will get pictures and videos
Obsidian.
of my girlfriend's cat and post them too, and we'll have a cat off.
I'll post my other 2 cats.
That's cheating!
I'll post my other 2 cats too.
No, I'll
Post Tigger!
You get to insert
I don't have a cat.
one cat into this competition.
Challenger has entered the field.
I'm gonna enter Kurt because Kurt's a good boy.
All
I'm
right,
gonna enter Obsidian.
we're
'cause
wrapping this
Obsidian's
up now.
awesome.
We're okay.
Oh no, I
Wrapping
know
this
what
up.
cat I'm gonna put
Oh,
in.
I'm so nuts over. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. I gotta pee.